I'm going to be looking at.
Massive game for themselves.
All right, and you guys at home, of course, can be involved in everything that's also going on around the game here, or for also PMWC. Starting from August the 1st, which was 2 days ago, the PDP Global Fashion Icon Contest officially has kicked off and is currently ongoing. This competition accepts both in-game outfit design submissions and participating by showcasing real-life outfits for you to wear. Use your sense of fashion to influence the world, and the total prize pool reaches up to $120,000. And with that, we are going over to the commentators. One final Erangel. Let's see who can take it.
One final Erangel. One final chance, potentially, to play during PMWC 2025. 2 eligible teams currently on Smash Points. Of course, we're talking APG, who just makes it off the back of that game number 3 Erangel, and for the other top dog, Gangon Galacticus, who's been here now for a couple of maps, but they haven't been able to seal the deal. But now is their opportunity. If you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening on the map, go ahead and check us out on YouTube. Have that up so you can follow each and every route of our potential championship match. I'm Taylor Reflections Noble, joined by John. We'll be calling the action over the next 3. It's going to be a lot of fun. John, things are getting serious, and Weibo is looking to also be on Smash Point after this very map.
I mean, you say we're covering the next 3. We just don't know how many we're covering.
That's right.
It could end at any moment, although it will have to be the end of a match. But Weibo, with a back-to-back, have made a monumental ascent up the tables to be in the contest. They are just on the doorstep right now of getting into that Smash zone to potentially take it away from Yangon Galacticos, who have been cruising at the top of the tables. You know, I said earlier on for one of my hot takes, and I'm going to keep bragging about this one, is that I felt like a Smash ruling was going to come through, but it wouldn't be from the point leader. It is not out of the question that that is occurring here. If we get to a match 5, if Weibo are able to get past that boundary, they could really take this one away and not be on top of those tables when it comes to those points, because it's all about that Smash. And an APG gonna let that happen either?
Ooh, I don't know, we'll see. The thing about Yangon Galacticus is they've been getting blessed by zones, and they also have been playing very aggressively, which has been pretty much their undoing. You know, the question is, why aren't they parking the bus? Why don't they slow things down and start playing in a methodical way that led them to this very moment? Now, points still matter. If we do go to game number 6, of course, if a team is on Smash Point, they win game 6, they then take the championship. But let's say a team outside of the running of Smash Point takes it, well, then it would default to the points winner. In this case, right now as it stands, it would be Yangon Galacticus. So points still matter, but if I'm Yangon Galacticus, if I'm APG, I'm going for it all. I'm trying to win this right here and now and shut everybody down, because the reality is, John, the longer these games go, there's more chances for other teams to be on Smash Point themselves, and potentially for them to steal the championship away despite them not having the point lead.
It is, of course, that outside chance, that title, and not to mention the cash that goes along with it. It's going to be looming overhead, a bit of a threat here. $500,000 for first place is up for grabs.
Insane.
You drop down to second place, you will allow that to sneak, you slash that number in half. Down to 250K, that is a big, big drop-off. You don't want to let that happen, and Yangon Galacticos, Alpha Gaming, both of them essentially neck and neck as we go into our final Erangel match. Match number 16, coming through from Sosnovka Military Base up towards Stalva on the northeast side. Let's get stuck in.
Let's get it going. Predictions in chat, predictions in the arena. Who are we supporting? Get loud, support your favorite team. They need your energy over the next 3 potential matches. For Weibo, 5 points away from reaching that Smash Point threshold. Very close, but could also be infinitely far away, depending on how these drops go. Now, my prediction for this specific map, theoretically, for Yangon Galacticus, this is their best chance to win this tournament on a Smash Point rule set. The reason why I say that, Erangel, in my opinion, from what I've been observing, tends to be where they feel most at home. Then you flip the script, we go to our last 2 Miramars. I look at APG to then be the favorite. So if I'm Yangon Galacticus, I'm locking it in right here and now. Map number 4. I don't want to see Miramar because my chances of winning might have just gone down the drain. APG's on fire, but one of the things that's been hurting them is they only land military. They don't have a secondary drop, and because of that, they ran into issues a couple of maps ago. It took them a little bit longer to get to Smash Point, but yet here they are. Now, military is going to be quite active. We've talked about it. 3 teams on military. Things start to get crowded. APG is now one of them.
They are going to get involved on military. They get to drop out early for the first time today over towards their drop spot, but the circle sends up towards the northwest side, so teams moving over towards Georgia Pole. That's normally Yangon Galacticos, going to have potentially a little bit of a better time, but on that north side, you've got those vehicle drops that could potentially get a little bit messy and get involved with other teams, but it seems like they're extricating themselves effectively for the time being. No one getting too close to one another. No knocks being seen just yet. Of course, we're looking at Weibo as well. Down in Primor's going to split up towards Quarry as well. Nobody really contesting on that spot. Again, early on that plane path, they should be looted nice and quickly. And that west side rotate, very available for them.
Very available indeed. And well, for Yangon Galacticos, they land a little bit short. Normally, they're up towards Georgia Pole, which would be phenomenal for them, being dead center. This time around, they will land a bit more to the eastern side of things. For E-Arena, already running into some issues. What a Sky getting the knife in. One is down, but Sky needs to get out of here, stay alive as long as possible.
Good news for Bora towards the bottom of these tables. E-Arena trying to defend. To be honest, no one's really paying attention to these teams down low. And it is 4 players to a vehicle for Yangon Galacticos, which we hate. But it does mean that they are going to have to grab a couple more vehicles on the road. And the buggy we first picked up by Smile. Besides a monster truck there as well, but they don't want to go for that. They're just going to draw up into those buildings.
This is a great opportunity for Yangon Galacticos to play for in-game. Not get too antsy. Let's not try to overexpose ourselves and go for eliminations. Let's tone back the aggressiveness. Again, I feel like they got way too aggressive in that last game. Would they still have won? I don't know. It would have been tough, but they were getting blessed by zones. Here, they have the best chance. This is quite literally the most perfect opportunity as it currently stands for Yangon Galacticos to hold it down, center zone, play for late game, and just stay quiet. That's my game plan if I'm them. Now, you do have teams moving in. Team Secret's going to be on the other side of the river towards Georgia Pole, and then, of course, E-Arena starts to come in as well. Maybe tempting fate to go into where Yangon Galacticos is currently at. They might go where Team Secret is. But we also shift our attention to APG. Once again, center of military. And they've got to make a decision. Eastern Bridge, Western Bridge. Where do they decide to go? Well, they've got 4 Thrives or Ida potentially to deal with them.
Could be problematic as time goes on. Team Secret have a position now against Joker, who's actually taking the fight fairly effectively here. Went down very, very low fast, but Frankie wasn't quite able to connect those final rounds. And now Frankie is in danger with Tony K and Sakura on the bottom floor. They will need to call for reinforcement, and in they come. Team Secret rallying around their high ground player. Sakura on the windowsills, looking for the shots, pre-fires the angle, and actually catches Zerus on the crossing. Beautifully found, and now Tony K has a turn up the staircase.
He's going to go ahead and camp up here, Frankie. Holding it down, nades cooking. Don't think it's going to have any impact. I'd like him to pull it back if I was him. Sakura, though, very limited health. And finally taken down. Team Secret taking this fight in stride, and an opportunity to get their down player is here, and they will be successful. As Tony K will fall. E-Arena starts to run on fumes. Joker last alive. And I just don't know if he's going to have what it takes to take down the 4-man unit of Team Secret.
This is an important fight to have concluded early. With the circle as it sits, teams are going to start to move towards the northern shore. E-Arena not being there opens the door for teams like Yangon Galacticos, like Power at the moment, to potentially try and sweep on through. It also leaves a little bit of an opening for Weibo on the west flank to maybe move over that long Georgia Pole bridge.
Notice Ida starts to move across the western bridge. APG to follow suit. Thundertalk most likely going to go across eastern. They won't have anybody there. APG's going to have to fight really hard to continue their way to center zone. That's why Yangon Galacticos are in such a great spot. Although Smile, I do feel he's a bit spread out from his roster, and that gives me a little bit of concern. I understand you want to lock down these bridges, and that's great for eliminations, that's great for points, but stay with your boys. Stay together. There's no reason to get too antsy here.
Taking a shot on the stairs. I mean, that kind of feels antsy to me.
I would say so.
A little bit of a pop there. Maybe signal of things to come. They weren't able to close down, getting a little bit too over-aggressive. They've taken some damage, but they're establishing control on both sides of the river now for Yangon Galacticos. So a lot of overlooked positions, and that's the danger that you play into crates, right? It's so open around the edge. Getting out of there, if you overcommit early, is really, really difficult once teams start to move in. We're on board with APG though now, and they are being careful on their bridge crossing, but they needn't be. Oh, maybe, okay, no, he's fine. He's around the edge of that blockade. They're zigzagging, they're going left, they're going right, and they are fighting ghosts right now.
Correct me if I'm wrong. We had, I know you would, we have a situation with Yangon Galacticos who were in this very spot when they won a game on Erangel. What, a couple days back, right? It was Team Secret who ended up crashing in on a roster on the ridgeline, or maybe was it Yangon Galacticos who? Yes, and then remember, then they crashed in, and they ended up taking a victory, and it was very, very close to where they currently are. So
it was APG,
and so they've won a game in this very spot, basically, or at least close to it. So familiar territory. They've already got a W here. Maybe they can replicate it.
Oh, well, they'll definitely be trying to, that's for certain. They would love to take home that chicken dinner and that title. The $500,000 in prize money. It's weighing heavily on the mind. And Weibo trying to weigh up to them. 5 points short of the match point boundary right now. They do need to earn 5 more. You can see they're posted up right now close to the west bridge on Georgia Pole. A long rotate across that bridge. It can get pretty dangerous, but at the moment there's only one team on the northern shore. That is Team Secret. That will change pretty quickly though. We've got teams starting to move in from the north. You've got Alter Ego, you've got Aura. Yangon Galacticos unlikely to go to North George, but potential for this area to get a little bit more packed.
For Alter Egos, maybe even fourth rise, but focused on Alter Egos, who I feel have been doing decently well today. They can have a good game here. There is a big chance potentially they can start to do what Weibo's been doing, right? Rallying back, breaking in to smash point. This game is critical to get close to that narrative, and then the next Miramar, maybe they surpass it, game 6, they can steal the whole tournament away, which would be insane, right, from Alter Egos and how well they've been playing. You look at Krypton yesterday, his clutch against Regnum Karia was incredible. So that would cap off a wonderful storyline we've been developing for this Alter Ego roster. Now, let's see where this next zone ends up going. And it's going to go straight towards Alter Ego up top. And Yangon Galacticos, who do make the audible, they follow Smile up ahead. Seems to have paid off because they're now well within the next zone.
That is a crazy hard shift up towards the north side. Yangon Galacticos immediately go to the northern shore. Power under pressure. Weibo on the western side, moving over that west Georgia Pole bridge. APG, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them following Thunder Talk all the way out to the east, play that Roshok bridge, insert over to the east-hand side of this next circle, but it's all on what Yangon Galacticos can do with the control that they've got over this river crossing.
Pushing Falcons back, Narvalo saying, okay, let me go ahead and scout out and see if that house is available. Well, it's simply not. He doubles back in, takes a couple more shots, and Renat says, look, you gotta stay away, brother. I'm not playing around with you. Falcons getting testing the waters just a little bit, but Yangon Galacticos hold it down. Regnum Karia also in the area, and we're still moving. Yangon Galacticos going forward, potentially challenging that of Falcons.
Oh, Mernat looking to try and clock Koa as he spins out the buggy or tries to connect on the tire. Maybe Ralph in danger, but he's pushed back. Yangon Galacticos have allowed about 4 teams through their position now for no benefit. They've got such a blockade that now sits to their north that was all southwards of them before. They retreat and they fold back.
This is interesting, and now APG getting relatively close over at Roshok. There is a chance maybe they clash depending on the route APG decides to take. I assume they're going to go more east and then go up north towards where Thunder Talk is currently at. But I agree with you. Yangon Galacticos letting Falcons get through along with a multitude of other rosters now puts them in a tough spot because you guarantee, well, I can't guarantee, but I at least think they're going to have to go north.
This is the thing, right? They didn't do either of the things that position was good for. 1, hold teams out towards the south. Take aggressive fights, force a blockade, force a traffic jam on that south side, and choke those rotations out. 2, head north before everyone else. You already have that advantage in terms of the pacing, and they've done neither. They took a little peek here and there, and they played it timid. They folded back into their compound, and now they're on the edge of the circle. They can still do something from here, right? There is still that opportunity, but I feel like they may have made a mistake in this situation. We'll have to wait and see if it's going to pan out that way. I also spotted Weibo tilting teams towards the top, right? They rotated up that West Georgia Pole Bridge. They've gone now wrapped around up towards the shooting range hill on the north side. They have a nice spread on the west side of this circle.
Yes.
I like what Weibo has done on this match, a lot more certainly than Yangon Galacticos.
Yeah, Weibo, Alter Egos, I think, are in prime positions to have a deep run in this game. And two rosters, you know, Weibo obviously 5 points away. I mean, they could get that with placement points depending on how they play this. For Alter Egos, a good game here puts them closer and closer to the smash points. Loving where they're currently at. They can just hold their ground. They look strong. APG finally starts to get up towards the top. They rotated up through Rozhok. We have another shift, which surprisingly still has Yangon Galacticos in it on the southern portion, and they are relatively uncontested, so another deep run potential. But for that narrative against Alter Egos, they now have to go down south towards shooting range for Weibo. Still relatively strong opposite of Team Secret.
It's a non-zero possibility that Alpha Gaming crash into Yangon Galacticos' position here, and we get a fight for the smash point early in this game. We're still waiting for teams to start to drop here. We have already lost one, but there's still 14 more to go. As of course we do have to have a chicken dinner win at the end of it all. Fireflux, they've been busted down to 3 right now. They're playing on the northeast side. Gonna stop a little bit short. Can't stay in this compound, and they will have to get on the road. Alpha Gaming, same story for them. A little bit more south though.
So Fourth Thrives, that's just north of them. Valak catches one off guard. I mean, Fireflux Solish, yeah, just pumping gas over there, unfortunately, instead of moving forward. And that will take, of course, they will take advantage of that situation. Fourth Thrives, a team that played so well throughout the group stages, now find themselves knocking on the door, potentially reaching smash point. Another roster that needs a solid game here in number 4. It's a possibility. And that's what Grand Finals great. We've got 2 teams who are already on smash point, but we've got teams who are definitely looking to make their way. We get to game 6, I'm expecting maybe 4 or 5.
I mean, it could go that way. It depends what teams like Alter Ego, what Fourth Thrives are able to do here. It feels like those are the 2 teams who are, well, they are most likely to join, right? Especially with Fourth Thrives already getting 3 points. They're up to 95 now. It's still quite a way to go. I think it's safe to say it is still very much a way to go. Unless you're just going to do back-to-back chicken dinners a la Weibo, it's going to be very, very difficult to make that one work. With where Fourth Thrives are right now out in the east, it's going to be pretty tricky for them to enact that.
So before Yangon Galacticos had Smile go as a solo across the bridge, this time around 3 go up. Team Secret gets close, but they leave Renat down low on the shoreline, potentially closing that in if they do need to rotate back depending on where the zone ends up shifting. But I get so nervous when I see those solos out in the open like that. I really hope Renat does not get caught off guard with a third party.
At the moment though, we're on board with Alpha Gaming. They are circling around the south side of Falcons, who are crunched in the middle of a bit of a standoff here that is sort of concluding towards their north, and I imagine the Falcons going to want to get stuck in. Alpha Gaming, they're rolling around these hills, they're not peeking, they're getting information, they can hold out here for a little bit longer. Yangon Galacticos in the meantime have got a player from Team Secret now playing to the ridge, to the west of their north point. See if they can do a little bit more from there. Fourth Thrives still fighting on out, but they've lost IQ. Noki is down and exposed from the rest of these rosters. Alter Ego as well on the north side. Got to make this rotate very, very tricky.
Got Fireflux in this area. Alter Egos. Noxium Red Force also moving in. If I'm T24, I'm trying to get Noki back up, take the hovercraft, and potentially disengage if he can, but they've got to go through multiple rosters, so it might not be a possibility. Phallic, the smoke's going to help a little bit. He'll get behind the car, and is Noki getting picked up? Well, is this nade going to connect? It gets close, and it will knock Noki once again, and that's going to leave one Fourth Thrives member to still try and fight for his life. Actually, none, as they're fully eliminated. That narrative we said they needed a good game for, going to have to wait until the next game potentially, but we still have Yangon Galacticos, APG, 4-man units, and they are deep into this game so far.
It's going to take at least 2 matches for Fourth Thrives to get up into the smash point boundary, which means match 6, their only hope to maybe sneak in and get a chicken dinner there. But again, it's on back-to-back chicken dinners at this point. Eyes on the top 3 right now. Rosters on the table. The circle went up northwest. That's going to help Weibo potentially. Yangon as well, bolstering their position on the northwest side. So we'll see if they're able to find it. With Alter Ego stuck in this this scrap on the northeast side, I don't think they're getting out of this one unscathed, especially with Alva already down. Fireflux are right next to them. Falcons are to the south of that. Thundertalk and APG beyond them on the horizon there. I don't think Alter Ego are going to be able to push through this one in a healthy way to take that chicken dinner on this match they would so desperately need to get up to that boundary.
Well, one thing we know about Alter Egos is they know how to fight. They know how to get scrappy, and that was represented in Game 6 on Miramar just yesterday. With all four still up, well, maybe one down at least currently, I think Alter Egos might have a chance, but you're right. It's not going to be easy, and with Koa knocking down Rosemary, John, I'm starting to believe in what you're saying. This fight on the eastern side has been taking place for quite some time now, and it's still going to be probably another minute or 2 minutes before it's concluded.
Falcons picking up a few points there, picking up their teammate too, as they take the fight and they draw it away. Fireflux will fall in their face, but Yangon Galacticos versus APG. This is the fight for the top side of the tables. Hang on a minute, on the ridgeline, Yangon Galacticos have position, but Alpha Gaming rock on up. They swing from the east side and they're pushing in. First player to go down is Myrna from Yangon Galacticos. Nades over in, and there's no equalizer.
Smile starts to back away, reposition. Top's going to try and get his teammate back up into the play. Smile, though, he's not going to relinquish that pressure. He's going to continue to push up. Doc does have a great angle if Smile overexposes himself. This is a critical fight. You have two Smash Point teams facing off against each other, and arguably, you could say whoever wins this, and especially if they win it in dominating fashion, most likely could, in fact, win this game and win the tournament.
Doc gets clocked from the sidelines there, and it's Regnum Kaya to try and take him down. The SLR finds the angle. Doc potentially Reservoir behind this tree. Regnum Kaya will come under fire from teams like Horror, from teams like Team Secret as well. And Zjol has an answer. Over towards Wild, he'll get that knock, and Regnum Kaya's sightlines will start to get diminished here. Playing that forward position towards that north side hold. It's going to work out well. And Regnum Kaya now playing only as two. They only have one active sightline that allows the res to come through for APG, and Yangon Galacticos, they're not going to continue to lock horns with them.
No, not at all, and they also have a hardcover POI, which is wonderful for them. So when APG, if they do decide to push forward, APG is going to be in a tough spot. So the question is, will the third party from Regnum Kaya truly put APG into the dirt? Well, for Silas, he's worried about Noxium Red Force. You also have Weibo, who's going to be up ahead. We've lost Ragnar from Power, Ida fighting off against him from a distance. You also got DRX joining in as well. Fights galore taking place, and well, for every player that gets taken down, for every team that's eliminated, that puts other rosters closer to Smash Point or closer to a victory.
Power eating lead right now as Ida taking them to task, but they have had their fair share of punishment here, with Eren going down as just Emre left standing, trying to flex those big muscles that we've seen on him. The size of that lad, indomitable, but right now cowering behind this ridgeline with a blue zone at his back.
DRX, Haji from Power. DRX holding it down, not wanting to overcommit in this moment. By the way, the Alter Egos Horda fight still underway. That eastern side has yet to slow down. Nice shot from Yudman up ahead. That's on Smile. That is a critical down, and for YG, they have to make a big decision. Leave their hard cover and go get the pickup. They're going to commit for it.
The difficulty here is that Yangon Galacticos have to leave their hard cover. Al-Haji giving a good attempt at holding against DRX, but you've got to imagine his number is up. Will go down as they cut through him. DRX managed that one cleanly. Ida going down as well, leaves 9 teams remaining. Placement points coming in soon, which remember is important for Weibo. They need 5 points this match to find that one. Smile did get res for Yangon Galacticos, but they still have to move north, and APG have 4 players alive. Moving north is so tricky against where Regnum Kaya are playing, and it might get even harder with DRX trying to backfill.
There they go, and YG was firing a couple of shots. Sides is going to go up top and try and challenge the YG boys. This is going to get tense. Smile back on his feet, nade cooking, it's thrown. Hyunbin manages to dodge, another one thrown on Soez, but he dodges it as well. DRX continues to progress. Smile, he is dropped off for the second time in just a short amount of time.
APG grinning ear to ear right now. The main threat from the south side taken down, but DRX may just sidle in to take their place, usurp that position on the south edge and play as 4 rather than the 3 that Yangon Galacticos were playing around with before. Hyunbin nade over the top play cloud, sidesteps another, a Smile finally bleeds out. He's staying alive on a sliver of HP, and Scissors cut along from the sidelines. Romeo steps into the fight. The nade finally takes him down, but Romeo now pressured out by the blue zone.
Romeo, like you said, he's got to move, he's got to go, and he's pretty much the last hope and chance for the opportunity of Yangon Galacticos to close this out in Smash Point, but Reefus from APG guns him down, and APG now staying alive, a 4-man unit, have a real chance to close the tournament out.
4 players alive, but look at the open field that sits before them. There are so many angles up the top of the hill that can take shots out this way. It's a question of keeping your head down, finding those later game rotates. We're in stage 5 right now, which means there's a lot of variability. And again, Regnum Karya get the knock over to Doc on the tree line. It's Reservoir, but they have the smokes? Do they have the time to go for it? Because DRX are right behind them.
That's right, they're about to get pincered. DRX from the flank, Regnum Karya up ahead, potentially Thunder Talk with the line of sight from the east. APG's job is not going to be easy, but let's face it, it's not easy to be a PMWC champion. So Alpha Gaming has to fight through. Weibo on the top. They're fighting, it's getting scrappy, but they're losing forces quickly. The question is, were they even able to get 5 points? I don't think so.
I don't know if they've managed to break that boundary. They are just short of it. Goodness me, they have fallen short of the mark, and again, it's going to be into the next match, unless APG win it, with 2 teams potentially in that Smash zone. As we refocus, Doc gets res. He's now playing all the way on the west side, and the teams up the top of the hill gonna have to move.
Team Secret, Hoda, they've got to go in. For TN, he's gone. Thunder Talk's forces are now down to 2. That alleviates a little bit of pressure off of APG, but maybe even focuses more from Regnum Karya up ahead, because now they don't have to worry as much about Thunder Talk. Doc, watch your back!
No,
Silas is taking you down!
It felt like he was slow on the trigger there for Silas. He spotted a player from Team Secret as well. What are you doing? Stood up there, my man. A broadside found, and Doc again has to get rezzed for APG. They have to commit forwards, but they are so open to these sidelines. And DRX could rule them out of this match. Reefus is low. The 2 players from APG committed onto the res onto Doc. DRX, it's go time.
This is the time for Regnum Karya to up the pressure, to up the ante onto APG. This is a beautiful opportunity to take them out and continue this tournament. When DRX starts to push up, you have a real opportunity. A nice shot. Yunbin will drop 1. That's going to be Reefus fully finished off, but Doc fights back. Doc gets a knock onto 1.
He needs to give something back to his team here. He's been picked up plenty. Now he needs to pick up the slack where his backline is starting to fall. They're playing as 3, and DRX have 3 players bearing down upon them, and he's down again. It's now all up to 2 players for APG to maybe take this one home. They'll get points, but I don't think they're getting the chicken dinner here with top falling. It's only Ziol left.
Ziol, the last hope and chance. Will the tournament end now? Will the solo make a heroic run? Well, he's surrounded. DRX, Team Secret now starting to crash in where DRX was just fighting against APG. Regnum Karya now forced to watch their back against Hoda. Sleepy falls. Regnum Karya controlling center zone. The last one from Hoda, last alive, is going to be No Fear. Down to a solo. Regnum Karya starts to push onto him. Thunder Talk with 2. Zeus moving in. Jaiki up ahead. Wild taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Ziol still stands.
Only just, though. It seems like he is not long for this one. As soon as Team Secret start to extend control, or DRX on the flip side, he's gonna go down here. Regnum Karya can't quite peek onto him right now because of Team Secret, who are still moving, still trying to settle into their next position. Silas wants the angles, he wants these shots, but he can't quite find them just yet. Wild is down, and the last player from Aura is right behind them. No Fear, nade over the top. That's Yol going out, and APG laps on the south side, meaning we're going into Miramar.
Yes, we are, which is good news for APG, a great Miramar team. More on that in just a bit. For other rosters like DRX, Regnum Karya, a chance to elevate themselves up the standing, a chance to potentially make Smash Point, I would say, by game number 6. Their job not done just yet. I mentioned Hoda earlier with No Fear, last alive. They've been fighting off against Regnum Karya, who now start to push up. And the question is now for Team Secret, can they take DRX out? The answer is undeniably yes, as only 1 more player remains, and now none. We're down to our top 3.
Team Secret losing their 4th position, with Regnum Karya trying to hold this high ground. They have a lot of pressure onto the south side. They've had it for a long, long time. They've been taking shots at that hillside for the last 7 minutes, and they have been finding points, but, well, actually they've been finding knocks, but not that many points to convert. They've been snuck away from the other teams playing on that hillside, but Now, 3 players alive for Regnum Karya. They need to move south and potentially down the hill. ThunderTalk with 2 playing on the east side of this circle. They've got a couple of sporadic pieces of cover that sit before them. I think the hardest time here is Team Secret with 2. They have to make a mad dash.
The thing about Team Secret, they've had some deep runs today as it stands, but they have yet to be able to finally get over the hump, finally close out a game. Is this their opportunity? Well, I love the line of sight from sitting up from a distance. ThunderTalk most likely going to mow down Xerath, but you do have Regnum Karya starting to get active, starting to move just a little bit, and they're pushing where ThunderTalk is currently at, and they have the high ground.
They've moved into this one. They know that Team Secret unlikely to push super far into this and backfill them on the high ground. ThunderTalk would cut across them, which means that they do have the freedom to move laterally on this. Unfortunately, Team Secret up on these rocks do have an angle or 2 onto this high ground. So they may have just pushed themselves into a little bit of a corner here. However, they don't have to take this fight. They can allow Team Secret to take care of ThunderTalk and try and put pressure on the north side.
They wanting to make the first move. A lot of utility's been thrown, mind you, especially from ThunderTalk's perspective. I don't know how many they still have in the backpack, but they're gonna have to face up. Sitting, overexposed a little bit. Xerath takes the shot, sitting back behind the tree, goes for the transition, he's down.
Gets sat behind the tree there. The spray down on the cross is good, and that should be a flush nice and quickly. Team Secret under pressure, and Silas able to rain down the hill, and maybe they can start to rack up a few elim points for this power position that they've been playing for the longest time.
You got Team Secret, ThunderTalk now running on fumes. Jing so weak, Wild just needs to hit 1 bullet. Well, now a little couple more, but either way, you got to favor Regnum Karya. Loxy starts to push up. Frankie is going to drop Xerath as well. Now it's just up to 1 member from ThunderTalk. It's seeing from a distance. Only a tree to hide behind, and it's not enough. Regnum Karya control the pacing of the game, eliminate some heavy hitters, and they put themselves closer to smash point.
Weibo falls short of the mark of the smash boundary in that match. I think that's one of the biggest storylines here, other than, of course, no finish of the tournament.
That's right.
But Weibo not making that 128 is huge. They needed 5 points. They got 2, maybe 3, I think, with the placements that they were able to earn. That is not going to be enough. So they can only get a smash victory in match number 6.
That's right.
Moving into match number 5, only 2 teams can win it before we would end our tournament anyway. However, it could upset the point standings. If a team is able to sneak in match number 5 into that boundary, things can get messy over towards the top.
Well, there it is. Map number 4 is done. The tournament will continue, and coming up next is going to be Miramar. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, map 5 coming your way.
Reach your impossible. Lenovo Legion.
The highly anticipated addition to the Mummy series outfits is here. Paired with the new Ice Tomb Glider, the Polar Spectrophage set is just what you need to freeze your enemies. Or send them ablaze with the Inferno Feed set's new upgradable Chain Inferno Uzi. All the Mummy outfits are back. Get them all. Join now and collect the whole series to turn all eyes on the battleground. Event period, July 10th, 2025 through September 2nd, 2025.
Well, that's Erangel all done and dusted. Regnum carry here towards the very end, looking strong. But for all of these teams here, they are just fighting for a little bit more prize pool because this game went off the rails. We saw those northern shifts. Joining me, we have Seven, Neptura, as well as Maxman to talk about this. Neptura, a lot of these teams that are now in the Smash Zone or close to, way up the north, trying to get something done. They don't enter the Smash Zone. Oh, I'm going crazy.
Heartache. It really is heartache coming in here. They tried so hard and got so far, but so far it doesn't really matter because they don't come into that smash point, right? Just a couple of points away, and they tried so hard. I already said that, but they did try so hard. They got a lot of points coming in there. They tried to get a lot of those teams waiting for the right time, trying to recreate what happened in the third game of the day, but it just didn't work out. That zone was just not going to be going their way, and we go over the match ranking. We see 7 elimination points coming in for Regnum, stealing a lot of those points away from other teams.
For Weibo, just way too passive. You can't play the same way that you were able to play it in the past. You're going to have to make sure you attack those teams, especially if you're trying to get there within the Smash Zone. It's not going to be enough, and I mean, it wasn't even enough to get into the first page. I do got to give some props, though, to Alpha Gaming. Somehow they were able to find a way into those circles. I will get a chance to talk about them a little bit later, but yeah, for Weibo, more aggression, Max.
They had literally the perfect setup because Alpha Gaming were fighting against Yangon Galacticos. That was like the perfect setup for them to enter the Smash Zone, and those two main teams you're going up against not being able to actually convert that chicken dinner was so important. Unfortunately, not quite able to get as many eliminations as you just said, Seth.
Yeah, Yangon gone, but then, of course, Alpha in those kinds of dips, Neptura, it's as if they were there too early, right? With a team eventually coming from the high ground, as well as Team Secret eventually coming in from the west. It's not the easiest place to survive there at all.
It's really not. I never loved that position coming in for them. I understood why they did it. We were discussing it backstage, weren't we? Like, there's a lot of dips. You can just hold for a while, just wait for other teams to do something. But for me, I was like, it's too center in that zone because it's way too open. All those teams on that hillside can look down on you. You had Yangon in front of you as well. I think it was Romeo in the compound there as well with a different angle. So for me, it was a very, very risky play.
Mr. Seven.
I'm just going to be looking at some of these teams. I mean, top damage dealers, Arcel Eagle. That's a team that's currently trying to fight for the top 4. I thought with 4 tribes going out early on, I thought maybe they were going to try to make a push there. Just sadly, it doesn't end up going their way. And with Regnum, they're also trying to get in there. They're trying to get into the money. And with that performance, it definitely pushes them closer.
I mean, they were in 6th position at the start of the day, 7, and they've been slipping, not really able to get any results in the first 3 matches of the day. This chicken dinner, just like we saw at the very start of the day, can bring you a lot of money, possibly. So I think that is definitely going to be the case. I'm very excited to see where they are in the rankings. They might be in the top 5 because that was actually a big 17-point match.
Yeah, you're already talking about those huge potential leaps that do come along. The fact that we started with a leap of from 50k to 120k, so there's still so much to play for these teams as we continue things on. And now moving into Miramar as well, it does make me wonder because, Seven, you were questioning if Alpha Gaming doesn't get it done here and then going on to Miramar, this might be Yangon territory for sure.
I mean, for Alpha Gaming, they've been able to get a third place. They've been able to get a second place. So the performance is there. They just haven't gotten the win.
Yeah.
You know who has gotten a win? YG, Yangon Galacticos. That's what I want to see out of them, but they're continuing to just mess up their gameplay style.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying what I'm seeing out of them. This team used to play edge, but they keep going center of the circle for some reason. Yangon, go back to what was working the past 2 days. Stop worrying so much about center of the circle. That was one of your greatest advantages.
One thing about Smash 4 is that teams will try and change their playstyle to try and hopefully convert a win, but they've converted wins before, Seven. You said it early on Miramar by playing edge. It was successful in the past, and here they're trying to play center, as we saw Niptra here. Unfortunately for Yangon Galacticos, they might be throwing this tournament at the very last hurdle. They need to go back to playing edge, what was successful for them in the past.
Yeah, but the other thing is, as well, as while they struggle to get those wins, we saw on that board there, you actually had APG with an average of 8 elims on Miramar.
Yeah.
So purely by points, APG could take the win while Yangon are struggling.
Right, well, we have everybody's second favorite segment. It's Seven winning with 7. No, not you.
That's right. That's right. There's one thing that's been really pissing me off today, and that is none other than just Doc being so far away from his squad and just causing his team to just make mistakes, especially in this scenario. I love the way that APG was winning. I love the positioning that they were able to get, but every single time that Doc kept getting knocked, it kept forcing Top to go pick him up, Refits to go pick him up, and that was ultimately what broke the camel's back. As soon as Top decided to back up and go pick up Doc, guess what? The next team was moving up, and he gave the disadvantage to them. If they would have just been able to manage themselves, stay more compact like they have done in the past 2 days, I think we would have had a new champion by now.
Maybe it is tough stuff here. Let's take a look at those overalls and see what's going on so far, because we still have only 2 teams in the Smash Zone. Weibo was just 2 points away, Max, from joining.
Oh, if they win their fight versus Horror Esports, they'd be in the Smash Zone. They could try and convert the win now, despite being so far behind at the start of the day. Weibo, I think they're going to look back on this game and just that is the worst possible time for them to possibly miss out on the Smash Zone. But Alpha Gaming, Yangon Galacticos still going up there. Currently a 10-point difference, so even if we don't end on a Smash, any of those 2 top teams could be the ones to take the trophy.
The other thing as well is you've got a lot of other teams actually catching up to them now. Regnan with 100, Alter Ego with 96, DRX with 96, Fourth Rise with 95. I mean, all of a sudden, not only are they no longer, or they are close to that Smash point, they don't get it, but they've now got 4 other teams nipping at their heels.
Imagine if someone like Regnum Carrier then suddenly joins the Smash Zone as well. I would lose my mind, which would be kind of crazy stuff. But of course, you guys at home can get involved in everything that's going on as well, because the Airdrop Carnival, you've only got 1 day left, I believe, on it overall. You can go log in and summon a surprise airdrop, collect 2025 airdrop vouchers for your chance to win official merch, smartphones, BD partner rewards, permanent in-game items, and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win. So make sure you get all that going on here, as we are now ready for our half-time as a whole, because we're heading over to Barney and Veracity, who are on the stage before our next game.
Kadia Esports Arena, are we ready for some more PUBG Mobile? That's what I like to hear now, Barney. Let me tell you now, Weibo Gaming, they can smell it. They can smell it in the air. They can smell the chicken dinner's getting ready to cook.
Yes, they can, but they're only a few points off that threshold of getting into Smash points, so unfortunately it won't happen in this game. But we still have 2 teams currently in the Smash Zone, so it could all end right here, right now, Veracity.
I'll tell you what I've been loving, though. The Weibo Gaming fans are here in full force. They've been showing their support. And just before we went live, I saw Regnum Carrier giving us a little bit of energy as well. I'm loving this. I'm loving the energy.
They did indeed. Right, we'll test it a little bit. Weibo Gaming, how you feeling?
No. I think you guys can do better than that. Weibo Gaming, are you here?
Okay, things are starting to heat up here. We are about to go into our Miramar matches. Like we've already said, it could end right here, right now, or we could go the distance. It's going to get spicy. So make sure you stay locked in and get comfortable, because we are heading in to Miramar. Woo!
Thank you very much, Barney and Veracity, hyping up the Weibo fans, because they need a little bit of a pick-me-up after that last match. That fight on the north side did not go their way, and they are going to not quite make it to that Smash boundary to join Alpha Gaming and Yangon Galacticos with a chance to take it all here and to take it all now.
There it is, and now things start to get scary for the Yangon Galacticos roster, which they don't look too scared as they're waving to the camera. They actually look quite happy and content where they're currently at. But for APG, this is a real opportunity for them to take this tournament. They are phenomenal when it comes to Miramar. We looked at the stats just before heading into this game, and, well, they were the #1 team, averaging the most eliminations, but also placings as well. I think it could end here, but you did bring up a good potential narrative for the team of Weibo before we went live. Let's discuss it.
So, I'm thinking, do Weibo go in and try and hot drop one of these two teams?
So two teams being Yangon
Galacticos and Alpha Gaming.
Okay.
Do they want to try and sit on a single player, target, focus just one of those players? They get 1 point towards it. I say hot drop, maybe not in the sense of all going for a 4v4 fight.
Sure.
I feel like it may not be a terrible play
Right.
to just drop on one single player from either Alpha Gaming or Yangon Galacticos, reduce their chances of winning, get 1 point closer towards that match point boundary.
Sure.
I think it might be an option. I think it's fairly unlikely. I think it's more likely that we see them just try and play by the book,
Right.
play for the later game, but it's not out of the question, and so I'll be looking out for that. At the moment, though, it doesn't look like we're going to see that coming on through because both Yangon Galacticos and APG are out early.
That's interesting. Yangon Galacticos typically go up towards the El Pozo side of things up north. This time they're going south, maybe to throw off the scent of Hora and Falcons, who they have typically been trying to avoid. Remember, everybody, Yangon Galacticos, when it comes to Miramar, they are a team that plays in blue for the longest time. You typically do not see them within the zone until stage 3. That's when they start to move up. Granted, if the zone pops on them right now, it could be great. If we get an island finish, I'm ecstatic. I want chaos, especially in our potential final map. But we won't get that. We'll get a standard zone, which means, once again, the narrative for Yangon Galacticos most likely going to stay on the outskirts until about stage 3 when they start to move into the zone. Now, for the other rosters, APG, they are a bit split. Zeal does get a vehicle. He's going to go ahead and join top and go up ahead. But Seven did bring up a good narrative, man. Doc, the Talkening, right? Where is Doc always going, leaving his roster? He needs to stay put. And the same thing could be said for Mernat. The same thing could be said for Sleepy on Yangon Galacticos, because you go back to the previous Erangels, and they were just splitting off left and right. Solos do not win championships.
Yeah, but Doc's got 10 AD limbs, so, you know.
Sure.
Kind of cool, right?
It's a cool stat. You know what's cooler? $500,000 in a championship win.
I think you might be right, actually. I'll run the numbers and get back to you. But either way, we are on board with Hora right now, who did beat Weibo in that fight on the northern side in the last match, preventing them from potentially being able to convert a smash victory here in match number 17 of our final set here in Riyadh. And they will not be happy if they have to come into contact with them once more. All the way towards Bayademar. On the south side here, Yangon Galacticos getting on looting. Nice and happy for themselves. They'll be chilled. I'm looking at where they could potentially be rotating through. You imagine that they're going to roll up potentially towards Monte Nuevo, coming through around Power Grid, potentially San Martin. There's always the option to go further north on this one. But I think it's fairly unlikely that they go the other direction and come into contact with APG, because that's really what I'm sort of looking out for here. Are those two teams going to come into contact with one another at some point during this match?
Yeah, Regnum Karia, big win on Erangel, puts them exactly at 100 points for map number 5. Game number 6, smash point opportunity, maybe. 28 points, though, would be one of the biggest games we have seen to date throughout the entirety of our tournament. So, highly unlikely, but for Regnum Karia, I think they've got to commit. I really do. But there is value, and there is an argument that just staying in top 5, that's a lot of money, right? And that's the question that always has to be answered for the rosters when it comes to a smash point rule set is it worth committing to try and silence a team to continue to tournament forward? For example, challenge Yangon Galacticos, challenge Alpha Gaming to continue to tournament. But you do that and you have the chance of potentially dropping half your roster. Doing that means another team who is a 4-stack has a chance to then pass you up, and you potentially lose out on thousands and thousands of dollars. So you've got to weigh the pros and cons, and you have to question, is it worth it truly to challenge the top rosters, or is it more worth it just to play your game and maintain your positioning and not necessarily go for gold?
I mean, that is the question, right? You can't really fault a team for thinking either way. I feel like if you're here to win the tournament, if you ignore the money, the plays are a little bit different. Sure. And I think that once you add in the profitability, the longevity of a team, of an organization investing in you as a team, it can start to change how you're thinking about this one. I know a lot of coaches will come out and say, no, we're just trying to play the game. We're not worried about the prize money. They're worried about the prize money. Like, they're worried about the prize money. What they're doing there is lying. And they will be much more focused on getting towards those spots, climbing that ladder, more so potentially than going for that top spot when it's a really outside chance.
So Alter Egos, you can talk about an outside chance even further down the standings than Regnum Karya. Huge pop-up game needed for them, but they want a sliver of a chance to take Smash Point. Because the reality is they're just a little bit too far away in the points category to catch up to first place currently, which is Yangon Galacticos, who still have a valuable lead in the point standings. Even if none of our Smash Point teams gets a win, let's say we go to Game 6, nobody gets a win, Yangon Galacticos being in first place still wins PMWC 2025. But for Alpha Gaming, they are still on their heels. And again, my favorite team to close the tournament out in map number 5. But they're going to have to fight tooth and nail into the zone. And well, Fourth Thrive's going to be just above them, Alter Egos to the right. And you also got to think, Yangon Galacticos, Weibo are also going to be coming behind you. So you've got some competition all around you.
In terms of teams that can steal this first place spot, on these tables right now, I think from Alter Ego downwards, there's no chance ever that they are going to be able to make this one.
Fair.
As it stands, Regnum Karya, to be able to win via Smash, would have to get 28 points in this match, which is an 18 Elim chicken dinner.
The biggest game we've seen.
Biggest game we've seen so far in this tournament, so even they are an outside chance here. So it is really a three-part story in this final set of matches. These final goes at the desert, and we are with only 2 out ahead by a leg. For Gaming, they already rotated in. They're a little bit behind Four Thrives, a little bit behind Regnum Karya with Alter Ego parallel to them. DRX moving up past Impala, the team to actually do a lot of damage to APG and to Yangon Galacticos in that last game to deny a Smash victory in the final Erangel of the day.
DRX traveling across the coastline. They stay on the outskirts of the zone. That's going to be great for them because they can go all the way up towards Truckstop if they decide to go north. Hora Falcons starting to get relatively close to each other. That's a narrative we've had throughout the entirety of this tournament. Falcons, Hora, and typically Yangon Galacticos, who normally are up in the north side with them, but again, they choose to avoid all of that nonsense and drop down south. Of course, playing in the blue zone as they typically do. A couple of shots are fired off, but overall everybody is going to be okay. Falcons, Hora still have their 4 members up. But as they do start to condense, they get closer to Ida, who is going to be in that vicinity as well. The north side not as congested as the center, obviously, or even the southern portion, because the southern portion is about to get pretty active, but it still is something to watch. APG getting some damage taken onto them because up ahead is Fourth Thrives.
They're taking shots out their way. Zyol, though, he's going to be chilled out a little bit over here. Just going to pop that adrenaline. And he's going to turn around, not really want to get stuck in too much to this one. They're in this circle, they've plenty more options to go for. Yangon Galacticos are on the road as well. They have just started their rotation from Valle de Mar. They went a little bit slowly past Minas del Valle on that south edge, and now they are moving on the south coast here, potentially towards Weibo.
Right on, yeah. That brings that not hot drop narrative we were talking about, but still for Weibo, I think there is value in challenging YG. We have a shift over to the right-hand side. That means Falcons, Ida, Hora, Naksham Red Force, DRX have to drop down, and that makes the job a little bit harder for APG, who now have to go into at least a culmination of 3 rosters.
Ooh, Order right next to Smile here. Order, of course, one of the most decorated players in PUBG Mobile. 2 global titles under his belt. Wants to try and make it a 3rd here. Unfortunately, he is the outside chance. with the rest of Weibo, so we'll see if they can pick up their feet. They don't come into contact with Smile. They don't want to stop off and go for the fight. Getting ahead of this one, I think, is it definitely is the right call here for Weibo, getting into the circle as teams collapse.
Ooh, APG's dropping south. They didn't want to head straight into the zone. They didn't want to challenge E-Arena, Power, Fireflux, Regnum Karya, Falcons, Thundertalk, who are all in that vicinity. They drop down, and we might see a back-to-back map repeat of YG versus APG. Weibo also there, 2 points away. Surely they reach the threshold this game. I would be shocked if they don't, but you've got three, literally our top three, about to converge in the same location.
On the south side of the circle, to the east of Los Leones. Weibo get the mountains first, and that may be the difference maker. We get a replay of the first Elim in this game. Oh no, maybe it was a later one on, actually, because that was clocked over towards Fireflux. So a scrap between Ida and Aura on the northern side. Weibo continues, so they don't stop off at the cliffs to try and hold the teams behind them.
Well, I don't know. He starts to back up. I think they are going to decide to park the bus and potentially gatekeep Yangon Galacticus. APG not far behind. They go a little bit deeper in towards Alter Egos. Power fighting for center control. They've got Fireflux, Falcons, and Regnum Karya all around them. But for Power, they have a great spot where they currently are at. Even if they do get dropped down, I don't expect anybody to crash in on them. So most likely they're going to be just fine. Still, my eyes on Yangon Galacticus now starting to get to the southern portion of Weibo, where they're currently at. For APG, they veer off to the left-hand side. They're going in where E-Arena is currently at.
They have diverged from Yangon Galacticos' rotation. The east side of Los Leones is a little bit too treacherous for them to fully commit. They're still at the blue zone, stage 2, so it's okay for now. Yangon Galacticos, they are behind Weibo still, who've committed down to a compound that is surrounded by hillsides. I'm not sure about this one from Weibo. It's right on the edge. You imagine that they're trying to get further up towards the Impala Hills in this scenario, but I feel like holding in this location is certainly an interesting choice.
He, from Weibo, has been kind of the tip of the spear. He's been stopping right before Yangon Galacticus, and where he currently stands, if he hops out, he might be able to get some shots. Bernat has, in fact, hopped out, potentially firing on Order, firing on He, who now goes up. We have a northern shift. Weibo will continue forward. DRX most likely to crash into them on their rotate, since they're getting a little bit active themselves. APG still keeping their distance from E-Arena, and for YG, well, now getting pincered in between Weibo and potentially Alter Egos to the left.
Weibo leading the charge, Yangon right behind them, Murnat hopping out, trying to take those shots. E-Arena losing another there on the southwest side. Now the rest of them close up. Fairly central, well, comparatively to a lot of teams here, fairly central on this circle. Weibo get a longhouse on the south side of it, and the Falcons actually have a lot of control over the road that splits the center of this circle.
Oh yeah, they can play spoiler without question. Team Falcons roster that could jump up potentially to top 5 off these next 2 maps if we continue to tournaments. E-Arena stuck in a bowl, and that's not good for them. Already have lost a player. The question is, will they lose more? Falcons in a very familiar spot. Remember, Falcons was in this very house trying to rotate out before they got gate kept by Yangon Galacticus, as well as a couple of other rosters just the previous day.
If Regnum Karya want to make magic happen, they do need to start to rack up these points. They've got the first, so they're out of the gates, and they've got APG to guard on the western side. And what better team to do it against, right? Against a team that could potentially smash if you're hoping to get a match 6 smash here. For Regnum Karya, this is how you do it. Again, I talked about Order before being one of the most decorated players in PUBG Mobile esports. Silas, another representative of that accolade. He has got multiple global titles under his belt. He's got that PMGO title. He's got that PMGC title. And he wants the 3-peat, but they are a real underdog here. I talk about Weibo in this scenario as an outside chance. Regnum Karya, they're not even in the same town right now. They're so far outside.
And they are outside, actually, ironically, of APG's current positioning, and they do split. They've got a 2-2 split. Regnum Karya could take distinct advantage of this, because they've got 4 players who are split themselves. However, they can move in onto top and Zeal if they decide to. Regnum Karya, a team that was putting the pressure on APG once we lost Yangon Galacticus in the previous map on Erangel. Regnum Karya ended that. And in fact, they're getting dangerously close to each other. For APG, they've been hovering around rosters, but they've stayed relatively quiet up until now.
Oh, Doc with the nades. We know how dangerous he is with those, but we know how dangerous he is to himself as well. If he gets overexposed, he's in a 1v2 right now. Sure, he's got top just over the way, but it looks like he's rotating back up towards the north. More nades being cooked. And Doc over the top with the overarm. Again, Silas may be in danger. Takes half his health bar, but not more than that. Top still negotiating the terrain around him and will bolster this position on the south point for APG.
Oh, but they might get pincered. Regnum Karya swinging wildly to the left-hand side with Wild and Co. They need to watch out for those off angles, and there's Wild on your very screen with Loxy. Loxy loves the off angles, and they're going to continue to try and pressure around to put APG into this vice script. They've got to be very careful here. And let's not forget, Reefus has totally separated from his roster. He's all the way up north, and in fact, I believe he's down. So for APG, the troubles will continue. I'm starting to get worried.
This is looking dangerous. Scarface from Fireflux as well. Now with a chance to take Zyol out here. Close range with the auto shotty. The SK-12, no match for Zyol with the pump action. Takes Scarface down at a distance. Matcap can't do anything about it. But Top falls in the meantime. And he's going to go down to Wild from Regnum Karya.
It's 2 down. See, you gotta stay up here. Regnum Karya once again looking to silence the team of APG in back-to-back games. They're so close to doing it, and Toshpik is pushing up. Doc by himself, forced to hold his ground, retreats to the hard cover. That's all he can do.
That sentence seems to ring in my ears. Doc by himself. And he is now facing against Toshpik on this ridge line. Doesn't quite have the backup close enough, and the damage is starting to pour on through. 3 players survive for Regnum Karya. The Molotov to slow down a retreat. Doc is trapped up on this building. Zyol marching forwards to get the assist here, but Matcap has other ideas. More damage sent over towards Toshpik, and APG still going to be fighting for this one.
CR thinks in trouble though. Matcap cooking the nade. Go ahead and throw it. Pull out your weapon and take the shot. He's right in front of you, right for the picking, but as he does pull the weapon out, Seal backs him up with the damage. He has no choice but to continue to push up. Doc has finally joined into the mix, and they've left the hard cover because of the blue zone. Regnum Karya, I don't think know where Alpha Gaming has gone as of yet, but again, the story on Matcap up ahead for Fireflux.
Oh, it's starting to get dicey for Alpha Gaming. And they are down to 2. They're going to push up towards Matcap. A solo on Fireflux. His ridgeline is getting suppressed by power across the way. And Zyol's down as well, leaving a solo for Alpha Gaming. Now, I'm going to reframe this one over towards Yangon Galacticos because Alpha are out of the running. They went for a wide sweep out the east side of Impala. They rotated up. Then it was a hard west shift on the circle in the previous circle. It's been that long that Alpha Gaming have been fighting. They're now up on the north side, near to Nongshim Red Force, near to Team Secret on the east edge, and they're going to crash down south towards Team Secret.
They've got to. This is a perfect opportunity. If they can win this fight in sensational fashion, it would put them in such a distinct advantage, and it is looking good, at least off the rip. Cloud's going to drop one. Smile's going to get the finish on the drop player. You've got a couple more to deal with up ahead. If Yangon Galacticus could win this spot, they can gatekeep Horda, they can gatekeep DRX, but it is imperative they do not lose a single player.
Trang moves back. Team Secret giving ground again in the face of Yangon Galacticos. A nade as they fade away, but they will not find the knock, and Trang goes down. Now they're looking for Frankie. Team Secret on 2 players standing, trying to keep things going, but the nades pour on in, and Yangon Galacticos lose 2. They have to slow down, but Team Secret will not be able to take this fight. In the meantime, though, DRX looking to put pressure on.
Yeah, here they come. DRX, Horda might be in hot pursuit as well. That's something to keep our eyes on. But for the reset, well, Yangon Galacticus go for it. Jaiki takes a little bit of damage. That gives enough time to get the members from Yangon Galacticus potentially up, but they're still 2 down, and they don't have the chance just yet. And slowly but surely, Team Secret starts to get it. A nade comes out. Frankie on the outskirts. That's a dangerous off angle, and as he backs away, he wants to at least maintain his tournament life. A chance is still here, but again, you brought up DRX. They're just on the outskirts.
And Falcons are taking shots over this way as well. Stabilization now for Yangon Galacticos. All 4 players are there, and Team Secret are starting to fold back. Have to fall away to the wayside as the circle moves away from them.
Frankie's been dropped. Romeo manages to get the pickup. Team Secret. It was a wonderful fight, but now they are left down to just one solo. We take a look once again at Yangon Galacticus, this time forced to focus on the remaining members, not only from Team Secret, but also DRX. And they do have a chance, if they want to go north, potentially to third party, this Thunder Talk Noxium Red Force fight to control the entirety of the north-hand side. That might be an option. And we got Romeo. He's in a vehicle and he might be moving.
I've just seen on the Elim feed, Order getting knocked there, and Weibo, remember, need 2 points. They only need 2 points. 2 placements would do it, 2 Elims would do it, 1 placement, 1 Elim would do it. Those are the only 3 ways that you can organize those point scoring systems. But the fact remains that they will have to move north on this one. They will have to move from under the sightlines of Falcons, who are dead center on this circle. They've got so much control.
Yangon Galactica staying alive. It got a bit hairy. The nades were almost their undoing. Luckily for them, Team Secret could not collapse in time to get the finishes, and therefore, Yangon Galacticus, the dream still alive on Smash Point. The chance to close this tournament out on map number 5 still exists. And with DRX backing away, they leave the solo from Team Secret in Trang, and they do in fact go up north where Noxium Red Force is currently standing.
Gonna try and sideline over. Weibo going for a crash as well. Remember, 2 points. 2 points is all they need. And into power they go. 2 players close by and out into the ground floor fight. Alhaji first to face. Easy on the top floor. They're gonna try and play up and down the stairs, establish a crossfire, and it's good for 1. Easy is able to close the jaws on the first pickup, but Weibo still have 3 more players going.
You also have Yangon Galacticus crashing in on Noxium Red Force. 2 critical fights taking place between 2 critical teams. SaintCloud is going to manage to take down Duck. You also have Easy falling. Weibo manages to get 1 elimination plus the finish, but they're still 1 point away. 2 big fights. Who's going to come out ahead?
Weibo find that 2nd point on a flush, and they're into the smash zone now. It doesn't really matter what they do for the rest of it, as we want to head over towards Yangon Galacticus. There are 3 players on the north with Noxium Red Force fighting on the inside, and Falcons are flexing out to the north to third party this.
That's right. Yangon Galacticus need to stay up. They unfortunately lost a player. Noxium Red Force manages to hold their ground against the roster who's been on Smash Point for the longest time. As you also said, Falcons start to roll up. An identical situation they were in against Team Secret and DRX just moments before. But Noxium Red Force, they're out for blood. They want to feast, and Yangon Galacticus might be the mill.
Trying to jump off that plate, Murnat holding first. Close to Beanie. The nades don't seem to be coming through. You've got to wonder how many are left in the back pocket. The next circle comes in, and this fight needs to conclude because of it. Falcons happy about the shift. Yangon Galacticus less so. They need this fight to end. They need to end it fairly quickly too.
Yes, they do. And then you have to deal with Falcons right after that. So the task is not going to be easy. SaintCloud falls out of nowhere. Ida and Aaron, the solo, managed to hit a shot from I don't know how many meters away. And this only helps Noxium Red Force as they start to push up. Murnat will also fall. And now it's up to a solo unless they can get back up to a duo, which they manage to finally do.
SaintCloud back to his feet, looking to try and heal. Nades in hand now, 5 for Romeo. A lot of ordnance to put down here, and they need to extend it now. Doesn't connect a lot there. Romeo dashes forwards, the DBS in hand. Binny chases him down and catches his heel as it tries to go through. A 1-for-1 trade, but SaintCloud has 2 more to deal with, and it will not be a smash here in match number 5. You can see the Weibo fans are happy about that one.
That's right, Weibo has a chance to win PMWC 2025. They put themselves in a winning spot. The question is, can they close it out? It's going to be a 3-horse race going into map number 60, guaranteed final map of PMWC 2025. But now we focus our attention on the remaining players. Let's not forget, points still matter. And for Weibo, yes, they're on Smash Point, but they also have a chance to go up into 2nd place, pass up APG, and potentially even get close enough to take down YG in game number 6 in the points category.
There are still technically enough points left in the lobby for Regnum Kaya to join them as well.
That's
towards the top side, but that's not really very likely at all, especially with Noxium going down here. I think if these 3 points don't go to Regnum Kaya, then it's impossible for them to ladder up and get into that Smash Point boundary. And of course, it's very, very likely that that's not going to be the case, with Falcons having a chokehold on this circle in a way that we haven't seen from them at all, actually, in this tournament. It's really been a bit of a disappointment from the Falcons roster, but maybe they can go out with a bang.
Let's find out. All by himself. We've seen him clutch up many times, but Kicks is going to be watching from a distance from DRX. All eyes on Regnum Karya, really, as far as I'm concerned. Again, the roster who might be able to get to that point threshold, it's not going to be easy, maybe not even mathematically possible, but they've got to give it a good effort. They crash in on Ida Aaron, a guy that dismantled YG from a distance. This time now he has to stand his ground in a shed against Loxy. Great nade to take him down half health, but still, Wild has the angle. You can't jump, you can't really move. You just pray and hope the utility works, and it will on Loxy.
That is nasty business from Aaron, and another one over the top. The fire's not going to bother him, and that's a flush. Regnum Karya getting dismantled. The solo in the shack. Aaron, the young firecracker on the roster. His rookie season last year, he had an impact.
He can do this.
He wants to have a little bit more here against Regnum Karya. Tries to thread through the vehicle on the hop in, hop out, sidestep, but is eventually taken down. Meanwhile, Weibo with a chance.
There it is. Weibo has a chance, but Four Thrives are looking to take it away. They're fighting hard. They are fighting tooth and nail. IQ gets a finish onto one. Weibo's numbers will start to dwindle away. Now 2 players, but Zook says, I'm not done just yet. He'll get a cleanup on one. Naki will also drop order, but for Weibo, they stand with a solo, and Four Thrives are out.
Rez onto 33Z, onto order as well. It will be able to come through. Alva is close by to them, so could be a little bit dangerous. Oh, there's a nade. Doesn't quite connect, so they're going to know there's a player close by. This should be a Falcons chicken dinner.
Absolutely.
If they don't win it, Falcons back.
Well, Falcons still very close, potentially breaking up in the top 5. That is a narrative. Alva, great shots. Hold up a second. Alter Egos becoming a narrative once again. Alva has been the clutch master oftentimes, and well, now he has a chance to do just that. I mean, he is working these angles masterfully, and for order up ahead, question is, can he take down Alva? I don't know. It's going to be, of course, solo versus solo. Winner stays alive, a chance to get more placement points, and Alva is moving, but not for long. Orta gets it, a couple of shots in celebration. Weibo, no, they are going into Game 6 with the chance.
They've got 7 elims, 4th place. They may have actually overtaken Alpha Gaming, depending on how many placement points they're able to earn here. So 2nd place is up for grabs, a nice little pay bump for them if they can find it. Of course, coming up into 2nd place from 3rd place goes from 150 grand to $250,000. That is 100,000.
Yeah, and from what I'm hearing, 1 elim will tie Alpha Gaming. Just 1. If they can get it, my oh my, is it going to be on a Regnum Karya member, or maybe even on Kicks up ahead from order? He's got options, but he's got to pick and choose properly for Regnum Karya. If he chooses to go into Toshpik, well, Wild might be able to help. Actually, no, I take that back. Wild is fully focused on Falcons up ahead, so Toshpik is going to be the one to potentially ruin the chances from Weibo to catch up to APG.
For my money, the smartest play Order can make is staying quiet here. Not getting engaged. DRX are, I believe, just about in this circle. I think it is Shaq. I thought he might have been outside of the circle here on the south side, but he's going to be right up and against it. Falcons know where he is. Order should know where he is. He's going to be locked into this one, especially with the circle shifting out as it does. DRX is going to have to go out first, but Order hops back into the vehicle. He's repositioning. He wants to get a little bit of a different angle on this one as Falcons start to extend their influence over this circle.
Yes, they do, but one of the things that's done Falcons in previous games is getting overly aggressive. This time, I think it is going to be the off angles from the solo. Now, Kicks dropping here would be wonderful for Falcons. They get him off of that side angle, and they can focus on everybody up just to the north-hand side. But I do not want to discredit the power of where Order is currently at. He truly could be instrumental once he finally does get active, especially when all these fights end up taking place. I don't know, maybe he can steal this game. It would be insanity, but it is a possibility.
He's not going to have to move before DRX have to move, before the last player from DRX has to step out into the open and get lit up by the Falcons. Well, everybody, really, because you can see Narvalos just waiting. Okay, deny it to the blue zone as well. This is a placement point for Weibo. That does the same thing.
Oh.
They ladder up into 3rd. That's another point.
The Narvalo hit the shot needed to take him down before Blue did, but Blue was successful. Well, they know where Order is at. Again, Toshpik on that off angle. I just don't think they're ready for it. Shots are going to come through. Ralph is going to fire upon him. Toshpik is going to renegotiate his position. Wild will maintain his ground. Falcons start to move up. This is their game to take. Toshpik will fall. Wild behind the vehicle. If a good nade is thrown, it might just drop him or at least get rid of the vehicle. Wild's gone. Now, you've got the solo from Weibo. It's Order. He's looking down on Falcons. He's going to manage to drop Ralph. Like I said, Order might be able to do it, but it's not going to happen. The crowd favorite team, Falcons, finally back in the winner's circle.
They find the elims, they find the shutdown. Team Falcons able to get a chicken dinner right towards the end. Weibo, they are into the smash point zone as well at the top of the tables, and 3 teams now stand atop the pack.
And Weibo is officially 1 point ahead of Alpha Gaming, putting them in second place. It's been a 2-horse race for the majority of this tournament, for the majority of grand finals, but finally Weibo has put themselves in a position to become champions themselves. But it comes down to one more map, one more Miramar to decide our new champion, PMWC 2025. A lot riding on the line and only one more opportunity to achieve greatness. We're going to take another break. When we come back, the final game of PMWC 2025 will be upon us.
Dear PUBG Mobile fans, we are delighted to invite you to the 2025 PUBG Mobile World Cup at the ESPORTS WORLD CUP in Riyadh, KSA. This exciting event will take place from July 25th to August 3rd at the Boulevard City. We've prepared tons of event perks, such as the PMWC avatar frame, eSports Passion set, eSports Passion parachute, and tons more items. Let's check out how you can get all these rewards. During the tournament, go to the Pandora event page via Lobby, Event Center, eSports to join the event. Mormon from SEA, Top from CSA, Pedrinho from the Americas, Silas from the EU, and Prestige from MENA will guide you through the 5 major parts of the event. They consist of tournament celebration, prediction rewards, eSports shop, themed outfit, and champion challenge. Join these activities to earn rewards and collect eSports tokens to redeem even more gifts in the eSports shop. The more eSports tokens you collect, the better rewards you'll get. You can get up to 2,870 eSports tokens from the prediction event. It takes place from July 23rd to August 5th and consists of 3 stages that coincide with the tournament: Group Stage, Survival Stage, and Grand Finals. During the Group Stage, get 20 eSports tokens by predicting the 8 teams you think will advance directly to the Grand Finals. Each correct prediction will grant you an additional 60 tokens. Make a total of 3, 6, and 8 correct predictions to get 300, 680, and 720 tokens, respectively. You'll get another chance during the survival stage to guess the other 8 teams that will make it to the grand finals. The rewards are the same as the group stage. During the grand finals, you must try and predict the ultimate champion. Just predicting will grant 30 tokens, and a correct prediction will grant 400 tokens. If you're unsure about your predictions, you can let your friends' predictions guide you. Find someone reliable, copy their predictions, and wait to be rewarded. The 3 prediction rounds take place on July 27th, July 30th, and August 3rd at 10:45. UTC 0. Rewards are issued the second day after each stage ends at 4 a.m. UTC 0. You'll receive esports tokens based on your prediction results. Note, esports tokens don't expire and can be used in future esports events. Who do you think will be the ultimate champion? Join the 2025 PMWC event and share your predictions. Invite your friends to join the predictions and watch the tournament unfold.
Falcons holds down the road west of Impala and is able to get themselves a very important victory to try and push themselves up the leaderboard, up for a more prize pool here at PMWC. But at the same time as well, whilst you're watching these games go on, you can also check out the EWC app, which is obviously over on their app stores, and keep up with everything that's going on here for EWC as a whole. Not only this tournament, but the other tournaments that are going on throughout all of the festivities here. Now, let's talk about Falcons, of course, here. 7, Neptura, Maxman joining me. 7, an important win for Falcons to try and push themselves into those higher prize pool brackets.
Once again, a team that just really haven't done much the past 3 days. They ended up getting to the win. I felt like this one was kind of gifted as well. They were having some 2-2 splits, but overall, it's Team Falcons pretty much getting themselves into more money in Neptura.
Yeah, and it's really well played from them as well. They have that, 2-2 split, I think it was, in the middle of that ravine where the road goes down. That position is really, really good, particularly in that zone. However, you need to use splits if you want to use it effectively, if you don't want to get taken out. So they actually played that really, really well with those splits, and then transferred over into a more of a 1-1-1-1 spread across the end of zone to actually take a lot more control. So for them, it was actually very, very well played, and they got the win for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, we just went on the second page. We have to talk about Weibo Gaming, right? They just entered the Smash with that game. They just got in, Order clutching it up at the end. I was thinking, actually, if they maybe got a few more points earlier, maybe Order can clutch it. Unfortunately, they don't get the entirety of that match. They do lose at the end to Falcons, but that fight versus Power, I was not sure how that was going to go down because that was a risky push, but luckily enough, they get the full reset, allowing them to then take a fight against 4 Thrives, against the side of even Alvov or Trigo.
Yeah.
It was a risky one, but now they're in the Smash Zone, meaning they could snatch it away in this very last upcoming game.
Right, that's an important thing to actually talk about here, right? Because we are down to the last game now. That technically, if one of these 3 teams could smash and be able to get themselves the victory here. However, if that doesn't happen, 7, the one with the most points will be the champion here at PMWC.
Yeah, with the way the Yangon has been playing throughout the whole day, we got to wait and see what the overall is going to be looking like, because this team has been consistent. They just haven't been able to get the win. Remember what happened yesterday, though. This was a team that did end up getting a win with 12 eliminations, so it could have happened here, and they went back to playing how they usually play. They went back to playing Edge and also hunting down teams. That is the YG I want to see going into this last game.
I mean, we're getting so hype here, 7 Neptura during that game. It's like, actually, they're going back to playing the Edge instead of the center. This is what rewarded you with so many wins in these finals at PMWC. They're going back to the basics that was so successful in the past. Yangon Galacticos here on Miramar, they had a really good rotate. Unfortunately, I think you mentioned it, Kalaris, a little bit earlier. Lack of scouting. Maybe they could have a little bit of a better entry point on the eastern side of the circle, maybe go entirely up north, but here didn't quite work out, and Nongshim Red Force were able to actually put an end to the reign of dominance here of Yangon Galacticos.
I actually also like their push onto Nongshim for a different reason, Max, is because Nongshim and ThunderTalk were fighting it out, and actually Nongshim is the more dangerous team to win out of that situation. If ThunderTalk had won over Nongshim, historically speaking, over the last 2 days, 3 days nearly now, we haven't seen anything else from them. So for the rest of the lobby, they're not really looking like a very dangerous team to go up against. Nongshim, on the other hand, particularly today, have been doing really, really well. So if a team like Yangon want a chance at actually winning the game, they had to take out Nongshim. So for them, going up to that north side was a great play.
Well, as you can see, the rest of the teams here are getting ready for our final game, trying to figure out exactly how they're going to approach things. Let's take a look at the overalls. Let's get a lay of the land here. Oh my days. Weibo moves into second place, as well as being able to move into the Smash Zone. Alpha Gaming is hot on their heels, but that takeover is huge. And now, Yangon, 150 points. It would be poetic, Max, if we saw them get a win and win on points overall, but we will see how this goes.
The dream is still alive for Yangon Galacticos, but actually I want to take our attention to Weibo Gaming and Alpha Gaming. They don't need to smash to win this. All you need is an early elimination onto Yangon Galacticos. Weibo would need 11 points, 12 points for Alpha Gaming to at least tie, maybe try and overtake, because you can't win the tiebreaker because they have 4 chicken dinners. So you would need technically 12 and 13 points respectively. So we could have a new champion here without the smash rules actually being in full effect.
That's right. I mean, and also take a look at all those teams towards the bottom. They are going to be fighting for that money as well, for that prize pool. Everything is so close by, but going back to the top, this is all these teams throughout the finals have been able to achieve at least a minimum top 3. Some even a win with Yangon Galacticos. It's going to come down to that final match, and it's going to come down to seeing if Weibo Gaming and Alpha Gaming can get a win.
I don't think Alpha Gaming like this turn of events at all. I mean, we've seen it too many times, right, across global events. It just keeps happening. They keep slipping on that final day. At least it's only by 1 point. So with the final game, maybe they can actually go, actually, we've well had enough of this. It's time to get back into second place, maybe even that first rather. And maybe that's just the fire they need underneath them to get them going.
Weibo Gaming, I'm looking back at the Hong Kong Invitational. This team got saved because Influence Rage got eliminated in last second. Here, no one is coming to save you. If you are going to climb up to that first place, Weibo, it's all relying on your efforts to take this win.
And I'm going to be looking at APG going into this last match. They need to take a fight and focus on that fight, not just be taking multiple fights, because earlier they were fighting Fireflux. On top of that, they were fighting Regnum Karia, and they just weren't focusing. You got to focus on that fight, and you got to make sure you do the right rotation as well.
Well, let's take a look at the top teams on Miramar once again. Our 3 teams that are able to smash or move into the point lead are right there. And whilst we're taking a look at that, before we go into our last game, let's do some predictions for the champion. We're going to start with Maxman.
Oh, can I go last?
Oh.
No,
Does
you
he
can't.
dare?
I can't pick APG. I've done it too many. I'm going Weibo. I'm going Weibo on this one. China, let's go.
APG, yeah. It's got to be.
I started with them. I'm going to finish with them for the final day. APG.
All right, and I never give predictions, but we've got to give some Yangon love as well here. Let's get this a-rolling, ladies and gentlemen. We have one final game. You can see all of these players getting ready to go. He's going to elbow drop them into oblivion here for this one. Those are the predictions coming out from the desk as all these teams are getting ready to go. I'm not sure that they're ready to jump straight into this game just yet, Seven. So we do have a few moments before we get to this, but it's always nice to get some predictions out of there just before what is a bit of an insane situation here, Nepturo.
Can I just how bad would it be if I changed my prediction to Falcons?
What?
Championship.
Nope, stop you. Stop.
I had to throw it out one last time. They did win the last match, but I know it's not going to happen.
What?
What?
Cool, if you want.
I mean, one that you ended up picking, Max, Weibo Gaming, something that I did enjoy out of that last match from them. Remember, throughout the whole day, this team was playing slow. We were saying at one time it was a little bit too slow. With the fight that they took against Power, that aggression was there, and I feel like that's something that they need to have here. They need to have that switch coming into this last game.
That's been something that has been just switched up to 11 for today. Their aggression, they're looking to take fights. They knew especially how many points they needed to get into the smash zone. They know now you don't take unnecessary fights. You need to get into the late game, get into the top 8, your top 5, your top 3, get into the late game scenario and get the actual win. If they can also just get high elimination game, maybe it could work out, but all the teams can make it work in the end of this match.
I started the day asking if it was going to be the destiny, if it was going to be the dream, or will it be destruction? It turns out Weeaboo is about to potentially cause destruction here as we have the volcanic conclusion of PMWC underway for 2025.
Seismic shifts on the table to close down our penultimate match. Weibo break into that smash zone. They will join Yangon Galacticos and Alpha Gaming with a chance here in the final match of the PMWC. It's all to play for.
Here it is, the last chance, the last dance, our guaranteed final map. 3 teams have fought tooth and nail. They have given it their all to end up in this very spot, to become champions, to cement their names in PUBG Mobile history. The question is, who has it in them to close it out? All that work to not be for nothing, all that work to gain something you can never lose, to be a champion. Yangon Galacticos, Weibo, Alpha Gaming, all 3 of those rosters are going for gold. and it's only going to be one of them as champions. We also had a chance to ask our talent managers who they were predicting to take this game, and it was Alpha Gaming. So Alpha Gaming pretty much across the board, not only from a talent perspective, but also from our talent managers. Now the question is, Arena, who's winning it? Is it Weibo Gaming? I think so, maybe. Alpha Gaming have a chance. Yangon Galacticos, everybody's got their fan base. Everybody's got the opportunity to cheer and get loud. They need your energy. Get loud in the arena, because it's time to get our final game started.
What a way to close down the tournament. A 3-team chance, a shot at that trophy. It's been glittering and glimmering before their very eyes for the last few days. And they now have a chance to raise it. Or will their key drop into the key crusher along with 14 others? It will have to remain to be seen as we take a look at where our drops are coming on through. At the moment, I'm seeing Weibo. They're out over the center part of this playing path, which has a fairly northern situation. Alpha Gaming on the south side.
Okay, so for Yangon Galacticos, they changed it up before. Do they go up north, where they've been so familiar, and it looks as if they will, which again puts that narrative. Hora, Falcons potentially gatekeeping them, and this is scary. You change it up last game, yes, you go towards the south, but this time around for Hora and Falcons, maybe a bit personal. Keep them at bay, shut them down. You have to be expecting them to rotate into you. So for Yangon Galacticos, they've got to get creative, and one thing they love to do again is stay in blue and then drop down south. So most likely going to see them making their way into stage 2, stage 3. For APG, however, they are within zone, but they've got company all around them.
Hey, look at that. 1 point immediately earned. Tiebreaker back on in action. And I think that means that Weibo do win the tiebreaker. I believe they've got one more chicken dinner than Alpha Gaming, if I'm not mistaken, having earned the back-to-back that they've been able to find today. So they are sat on 2 chicken dinners. 139, of course, that will be the tiebreaker, unless Alpha Gaming win. But then it's a non-factor because they win via the smash ruling. Oh, there's so many interlocking rules. I love logistical, bureaucratic nightmares on points tables. It's what I live for.
And just to confirm, it is Weibo with 2 wins, Alpha Gaming with 1. So something to take effect a little bit later on, but all eyes, of course, on these 3 great rosters. You know, you got one starting off relatively hot, of course, being Weibo, APG getting a first shot, but that also puts a target on their back, right? Shots are fired, teams are getting active, which might be in the back of the mind of the other rosters thinking, I want to third party this because this is our last chance to elevate ourselves up the leaderboard.
Absolutely. There's a lot of money that's mixed in the middle of the tables. Obviously, the 3 teams at the top have taken a lot of points, but the points gap between teams like Regnum Karya all the way down to Team Secret, right? So 4th to 12th. That drop-off could be there, right? And that is a pretty sizable chunk. 4th place is $120,000, and then you go down to 12th at 45. With a single game, they can change things around, earn more, drop down. It's a lot of wiggle room here.
Without a doubt. And for Regnum Karya, they have been the boogeyman of, well, APG over the past couple of maps. This time around, they take down Krypton from Alter Egos. A guy that clutches up, a guy that you want to stay alive. Does it impact the standings? Well, potentially. Alter Egos could pass DRX, 4 thrives, maybe even Regnum Karya themselves. So for Regnum Karya, taking down 1 from Alter Egos, and in my opinion, the tip of the spear, albeit outside of Rosemary, that puts Regnum Karya in an even safer spot.
Absolutely. They're going to feel a little bit safer as time goes on. Behind them, of course, the Falcons coming off of a chicken dinner. You know what? I was kind of surprised that Neptura decided to predict them for the tournament win. Not because they're so far down the tables, but because they're not Team Spirit. And of course, Neptura loves Team Spirit. Favorite team. Unfortunately, they didn't even make it out of CSA.
That's right. Team Spirit, rest in peace. Neptura, keep sending your love to them. Maybe they'll come back next year.
Absolutely.
I do want to point out Weibo, however, pretty centralized in the zone. DRX do start to move in relatively close to them. That's going to be a fun one to potentially watch. But for Weibo, they're going to try and stay as quiet as possible, but they can also gatekeep a couple of rosters. Noxian Red Force, DRX, Ida, maybe Thunder Talk, who's a little bit further away. For Yangon Galacticos, again, staying up towards Trailer Park, they're going to stay there for a long time. They're going to play it slow. They're not going to get too antsy because, again, you've got Falcons and Aura, which for Thrives, they may be thinking about challenging Falcons. You do have T24 is getting relatively close.
Could potentially be just scouting out, trying to navigate those rotations out east. In the meantime, though, in the center of this circle, just around Hacienda del Patron, around San Martin, Weibo Game currently looking for position. We know what's on the line for this team. The tiebreaker order goes Yangon Galacticos, followed by Weibo, followed by Alpha Gaming. That will not change because with the chicken dinners sitting as they are, that's the order of the tiebreakers. And of course, if any one of them increases their chicken dinner score, they win the tournament by the smash rule.
That's right.
So that tiebreaker order will be in effect throughout the course of this one. And it could very much come down to those chicken dinner differences.
Right. So T24 still close, but not close enough to really have an effect on this Falcons rotation. And for Team Falcons, you know, we've been talking about them dropping the ball and struggling, and yes, they will not be champions today, but this final game, if it's good enough, could elevate them up in the top 5. So that still is a storyline. They're not too far away. It's not impossible for Team Falcons to get a top 5 finish, which, by the way, again, in regards to the club championship race, Falcons need a top 8 finish. They're currently in 9th place. So this is a big moment for Falcons in the overall scale of things for the club championship race to have a good performance.
Adding to that tally is great. They can keep contributing to their team to be able to try and pick that one up. You hope that they can do it. I'm sure there's plenty of fans at the arena who want the Falcons to do it as well to help out on that club championship tally.
Love seeing the fans. Hey, peace to you. Great to see you. Getting excited, getting happy. Some of them getting loud. Yes, let's get it going. The final game. Yangon Galactica start to move in. This is very typical of their style, but again, you've got Falcons who might keep them at bay, and if they choose to drop south, which is their typical game plan, Fourth Thrives right in front of them.
They're moving on in on the west side towards San Martin for the Falcons. We're still waiting on Alpha Gaming and Yangon Galacticos to make their appearances. Of course, Yangon Galacticos, they're in the blue zone. Currently, actually, fairly close to it, all things considered, for them, certainly. They're quite close to this zone. Yangon Galacticos playing out on the south side of El Pozo and will navigate the bubbly terrain there. He bobbles his way forwards. It's difficult. I hate driving over this terrain. It's so confusing. You never know if you're going to flip your vehicle or not.
From now on, when I'm driving down a bumpy road, I'm just going to bubble over the potholes. That's right. That's my strategy. Yep. John, I like it. New terminology. They decide to go up north, that's great for them. And north really has no competition if they decide to commit towards water treatment, which could be a great spot depending on how quickly they get over there. But there's a lot of terrain and a lot of distance between them and that. APG also staying south. They're going to be in blue currently, and they have a free route towards the north. Both rosters, I believe, currently waiting for this next stage to pop, and it does encompass water treatment, which again opens that up maybe for Hora, who's going to be the closest. They can overtake that. YG might be able to move up, but for APG, I mean, so tightly contested. Yes, a free route in, but they've got to go in between Fourth Thrives, E Arena, and then ultimately, of course, Noxian Red Force, Fireflux, so many rosters, and the same thing can be said for Yangon Galacticos. This is great for Weibo. Weibo's still dead center. They're established. They don't have to move, but is Order by himself?
Maybe. I mean, they are fairly split right now. The question is, how long can Weibo hold this split in the center of this circle? Falcons are going to push in on the north. Regnum Kaya from the other side as well. They're looking to try and move on in. Otter on that northern edge could get in the middle of it, get stuck in there. Thunder Talk, everybody trying to get closer towards the east side of San Martin, towards Hacienda del Patron.
Alter Egos also started to move in from the northern side. Curious where Yangon Galacticos choose to go. For APG, this is going to be a tough rotate for them. I'm genuinely getting worried at this moment because going up north, there's so many teams playing Edge, Fourth Thrives, EDA that they'll have to run through. Any of those fights taking place, again, this is the final game, and so many teams are very close to catching up in the top 5 or even bettering their spot. You move up one spot in the standings, that's potential thousands and thousands of dollars in differences when it comes to the prize money. A very real reason to win a third party and fire some shots safely from a distance. And for APG, I don't know. They've got to go up north, but it's still a long rotate for them. For me, I'm putting them on alert.
There's a lot of danger in this final match here of the PMWC. The grand finals continue to deliver on the excitement towards this final match as Yangon Galacticos navigate their way up the west side, over the top of San Martin, up and into the hills. It looks like Weibo are going to try and hold on the Manor House as well, and play in the center of Hacienda.
Still, that split worries me, especially if the team decides to go in between them. That's going to get quite awkward, but for Weibo, still all 4 up. Not ringing the alarm bells just yet for them. Yangon Galacticos starting to move in. They're going to be just opposite of Falcons again, who are all split.
Alpha on the west side. Look at this rotate. Right. They're swinging out and could potentially backfill on towards Yangon Galacticos here around the west side of San Martin. This fight feels inevitable. We could remove one of our 3 teams here and now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it makes sense, right? You go back, what, several maps now, and it's been Yangon Galacticos fighting against APG. The 2 teams cannot stay away from each other. Like magnets, they're drawn, but we do see maybe a bit of an audible as they start to rotate right towards Noxum Red Force. But the good news is for them, they avoid 4 thrives, and they now have clearance to now get in to the next zone. But as they just get here, the next zone is about to shift. The question is, where does it go? But that's not too bad. That's not too bad. But Noxum Red Force is gatekeeping the outer edge, and APG still needs to go forward. If they go north, they go into YG. If they go south, they go into 4th Rise. If they go east, it's straight into Noxum Red Force. And Smile is scouting, but I hope he doesn't get too carried away. He's jumped out.
Oh, Doc has been spotted, I believe, out on this western side. Gonna have to be careful, and Smile gets Doc down. He's going to find that knock, and it is just time and time again that he has dropped the ball for APG. And finally, it may be the death blow dealt towards Alpha Gaming.
Said I was ringing the alarm bells, and now they are sounding as loud as they possibly can. Losing Doc hurts. But for Alpha Gaming, a chance still remains with 3 players up, but you just gave an elimination to the team you're fighting against. For Hora, they start to push in for Team Secret, trying to hold on tight. They cannot, and they will be eliminated in the final game of the tournament.
Hora able to stay alive with 2 players down. The reses will come through. This circle is giving Weibo a massive in on this match. The 2-2 split that they have right now should be fairly trivial to hold as it stands in this circle. The teams that surround them, that are creating this buffer zone, not super likely to want to crash right now. So they will definitely be solid to hold this 2-2 split into the next zone. Let's take a look at this replay. Doc hops out, and I mean,
yeah, hit and run. Hit and run.
It's disappointing.
Backs away, gets away, and it is. It is so disappointing. I know Seven is fuming right now because he's been setting this narrative, the Doc getting Doc going up by himself. I know doing the research coming into the global stage, that was one of the things he made sure that I remember. Doc loves to go up by himself, but one of the things they improved on is Doc started joining his roster once again, and that made them strong. But this time around, old habits refuse to die, and maybe the chances now for Alpha Gaming to win this championship have in fact gone to the grave. But again, with 3 members up, there still is a chance for them to take this, but they're going to have to work even harder.
Smile's just gone down from Yangon Galacticos. There's only 3 players now for Yangon Galacticos. They tried to move through San Martin, but the Falcons extract a toll on the road from them. And now from the north side, potentially could move down towards Hacienda, a decent spot that Weibo have to abandon to hold this 2-2 split. So potential space there. Alpha Gaming with potentially their last rotate on this tournament. As Reefus gets spotted. Now in the firing line. He's loading up to take these shots. And Weibo across the way, taking down more players from Alpha Gaming. Ziol, the last bastion here for the team from Mongolia.
Ziol once again last alive. You go back a couple of maps on Erangel, or map number 4, Ziol was the last hope and dream for this APG roster, and once again the pressure falls on his shoulders to try and carry the torch for Alpha Gaming to take this championship, but he's surrounded by everybody. Luckily there's a little bit of space, but his chances of winning this are now slim to none. However, it would be one of the most miraculous comebacks in PUBG Mobile history if Ziol can somehow take this victory. For Alpha Gaming fans, I know you want to keep the hope alive, so I'll at least say that narrative for you.
Okay, I think it is very much an outside chance here. I like this regroup from Weibo. Remember, I was talking about how you can hold that 2-2 split because the teams around you aren't likely to move. With this circle shifting down, they regroup from that east side because they know teams like DRX on their position, Thundertalk, Alter Ego, Aura on that north side, likely to want to try and take that compound on the corner from them. So they regroup, recoalesce, and play on as for the only team in the top 3 with a chance of smashing that has 4 players alive. But Yangon Galacticos, 3 players on their side, they also still have a chance.
Yes, that's right. St. Cloud will take the advanced position on the compound. That will give free reign to Romeo and Renat to potentially move up. The only team around them is Hora. Depending on how this zone ends up rotating, maybe we do see a clash between Yangon Galacticos as well as the Weibo roster, but you still got to appreciate where Weibo is at. 4 members still alive. They now are joined together. There is no more of a split, and they're staying tried and true to what has worked for them, taking center zone. 4 Thrives versus Power. What's at stake with this fight? Well, 4 Thrives are currently 5 points away from catching up to Regnum Karya, which would put them in a better spot for more money, knocking them down. But it's not a guarantee. 4 Thrives are currently at 0 eliminations. They need to silence Power and take down the remaining 3 members. That would put them within striking distance of apexing Regnum Karya. But if they don't and they fall short, Regnum Karya will stay in 4th place, but they're only going to be just there because the solo is last alive. Hora starts to rotate over. Regnum Karya has Loxy just up ahead, but Hora, all eyes on them as they're taking Spanish.
On the east flank here against Loxy, but Yangon Galacticos are moving in on the north side towards potentially Weibo Gaming's compound. Another fight that could dictate the pace of this tournament. On the north edge, they could wipe each other out. Oh, Loxy does go down. Regnum Karya taken down with 112 points on the tables. 4 Thrives could definitely leapfrog that.
That's it. 4 Thrives can do this. Fireflux have fought hard throughout the entirety of this tournament, but I believe everything is starting to come to an end as 2 players are last alive. DRX starts to push up. Solus taken down as well, I believe, through the smoke. No, excuse me, he gets full back up. I thought the shots connected well. He'll continue to fight hard, but Kix wants to take him down. For Fireflux, a chance maybe to pass Team Secret, get up into top 12. As here in Solus does hit a nice shot needed, but he drops down as a nade takes him out. Scarface, the last hope and dream to move Team Secret up.
A flush onto Solus there, and now Scarface looking to try and hold it for Fireflux on that south side. It's unlikely that he gets too much further into this one, and the tournament is starting to close down for teams left and right. We've dropped 3 now. Their final performance is done and dusted. Next circle pops, and it keeps Weibo in, but it forces Yangon Galacticos out.
Yes, it does. Yangon Galacticos now have to push in, potentially pass Weibo. The question is, will they choose to challenge? They've been highly aggressive during the finals. Scarface, though, all eyes on him as he continues to stay up for a little bit longer, but I don't know if Fireflux did what they needed to do to pass up Team Secret. Matt taking damage. Hora with the third party. Yangon Galacticos might be getting taken down relatively soon. They've got to play this carefully.
Ooh, 4 Thrives on the inside, looking to try and overtake as DRX are going neck and neck with them, bouncing back and forth on those tables, both trying to overtake Regnum Karya here.
Let's talk about scenarios. Alpha Gaming has a solo live with Zeal. Still within zone, he's staying quiet. Yangon Galacticos, obviously a chance to win this game with 3 members, but they got a tall task ahead of them with Weibo just up ahead. Hora off to their off angle. Falcons obviously still around. Now, for Weibo, let's say Yangon Galacticos does get taken down. Weibo could win in 2 ways. A winner-winner chicken dinner, or just getting enough points to surpass the point threshold, which is currently at the moment around 150, 152 for Yangon Galacticos. So for Weibo Gaming, they need 14 points. That's what's going to be needed to surpass Yangon Galacticos as it currently stands. Let's not forget YG is still alive.
The last time the PEL team were able to win a global title was back in 2021, and that was with Order over on Nova. If they can take it back here, what a story for the player. A 3rd global title, a resurgence for the PEL onto the world stage. Plenty of fans waiting for that to happen. Murnat under pressure. The Sleepy takes a toll over him. He's trapped behind a burned out tree, but he has a sliver of HP left, and they don't quite have the angles to squeak the bullets around the edge there. The heal comes through, and Yangon Galacticos stay as 3.
Still a tough spot, though. Falcons start to move closer and closer to Noxium Red Force. Maybe a fight breaking out between the two rosters there. Remember, for Falcons, top 8 for the club championship race is important. They're 5 points away, and the team in front of them is the one they are trying to surpass. They beat them, they have a very real chance to elevating themselves up into the top 8. That's going to be a close one we have to watch. Another zone shift is about to occur in just about 50 or so seconds. DRX getting taken down. 4 Thrives, another roster that is looking to elevate themselves up to top 4. The chances here, they're hitting the shots needed, but they do have a down player. 4 Thrives is putting up a wonderful fight, but DRX is fighting back as well. IQ and Co need to buck up and obviously play this well. With only a solo left, 4 Thrives' job becomes even harder. IQ has such a tall task, and he's down. And 4 Thrives did not do enough to break in to the top 5.
And with that, DRX need 1 more point. The placements haven't kicked in, but they will jump up to be drawn with Regnum Kaya. I'm not too sure who will win that tiebreaker, but if they get 2 more points, they will be free and clear. However, let's reframe over on this northern side of the circle. Pops very, very shortly here. Of course, 4 players alive for Weibo, 3 for Yangon Galacticos. Aura have an off angle onto the Yangon Galacticos position, and everybody has to move. It is a mad dash to the south, and Ida sits slap bang in the middle.
That's right. Ida have such a great position here. Such a great opportunity with 3 players last alive. Maybe even break into top 8 themselves. A big game is needed, but the possibility is there. Remember, winner, winner, chicken dinner is 10 points. That would put them at 94. They already have 2 eliminations to their name, so a very real chance Ida can break into top 8 over everybody else. Narvalo has fallen. Narvalo has fallen. Ralph will fight once again. Narvalo fully down and out now. Falcons down to 3. Such a pivotal fight between Falcons and Noxium Red Force, and potentially the final fight for both rosters.
Yangon Galacticos maybe try to third party this as well as the Falcons go down to 3, but Noxium Red Force seem to be bleeding as well. E-Arena across the way could try and have an impact here with 2 players looking to heal on up. It's up to Doc to hold the corner, but Koa wins the day. Another frag around the edge, and it's going to be Noxium Red Force continuing their bleed out. Koa drops down and away from danger. Yangon Galacticos wasting time here, not going to be allowed to approach as TZ, the last
got the high
ground to find Ralph, will get 1. Redox now with a chance to hold it down for the Falcons as Koa's fallen as well. Last player for the Falcons alive, and they cannot make it. Top 8 denied. Noxium Red Force with 2 stand too fast in their way.
Noxium Red Force, not the healthiest team, but still top 8. We look over now, and Hoarder starting to crash in. Weibo are getting broken apart. Sook has moved deeper in. Yangon Galacticos are also taking damage, but they can still third party Noxium Red Force. Question is for Sook, all by himself. What's going to happen here?
The placement points are kicking in now as well, so for DRX, they're looking good to overtake Regnum Kaya. Sook moves fast and out into the open. A pivotal position here for Weibo Gaming right now. Yangon Galacticos could potentially take the hillsides away from Falcons, who are gone already. Noxium Red Force from E-Arena as well. That western side could get dangerous, but Zyol is still playing, by the way, as solo, and he's in the circle.
St. Cloud's down. He can't get picked back up. Burnett has to move forward. Order is starting to go in onto Yangon Galacticos. They're collapsing in. Weibo wants to silence the Yangon Galacticos roster right here and now. But can they get their teammate back into the fight? They need to be as healthy as possible to try and catch up in the points category. Order taking a lot of damage, sleeping from a distance, might be able to mow him down.
He goes forwards, but he meets a wall of bullets sent out his way. And Weibo are throwing away their position on the northern side. They try and mad dash up towards Yangon, but it is not enough. They were 11 points behind at the start of this match. They are now 13 points behind. And the placements are starting to add up. They need a lot more than they can get with only 2 players alive. This may be the close down of the tournament.
I think so, brother. 33Z. I don't know. Does he have a chance to get heat? He has crawled for the longest possible time, and 33Z is now in a vehicle, and he is going forward. Now, the narrative for Sook, I mean, Horda's got him pinned up. He's taken over this shack, and from one thing that I know, brother, from watching all these tournaments, once you have to go into the shack, it then becomes a death shack. I'm worried for Weibo Gaming.
Yangon Galacticos surviving is a nightmare for Sook right now. Oh, there's 4 players from Aura. bet they've got an aid, and they are going to post it right through the window here. For PEL, their hopes may be dashed. That three-peat for Order slipping through their fingers. APG finally go down, which means that Weibo are locked in at second at a minimum.
This is it. Yangon Galacticos can lock in the tournament right here and now. This is their opportunity. The only thing that stands before them is Sook the solo from Weibo Gaming, the championship in their fingertips. Can Sook clutch it up? If he does so, he would be stealing the championship away. Hora continues to push up. Hora wants Sook dead to rights, but the nades can't connect, and Sook stays alive.
It's only a matter of time. He's taking coin flip after coin flip, and the Molotov is burning at his feet. It's not connecting, though. The spread's not there, but they've got nades pouring on in. No, they're not connecting. Are you kidding me? Sook is weathering the storm that is battering down this shack.
Right, Sook trying his best to stay alive, but all it takes is one good connection. Another nade goes in. Is this going to be good? Is it going to be good? Yes, it is. And Weibo will fall. APG already out, and Yangon Galacticos will take PMWC 2025 in sensational fashion.
The madman from Myanmar able to take the top spot here in Riyadh. PMWC sent over to East Asia once again, and they will be happy to receive it. They go down, but they have done the work. It is over. It's done and dusted. We just need to lock it in. They're already celebrating. They know what they've done, and they need to be proud of themselves.
History has been made. Yangon Galacticos, the champions. They worked hard to get here. They hug it out, and rightly so. What a relief it is to be champions, to cement your name in PUBG Mobile history. That's exactly what they did. And for the remainder of the points, we still have something up for grabs for DRX. Maybe they can pass Ragnar Karia and break in to top 4. But just like that, they get eliminated. But it comes down, of course, to the placement points. We're now down to our top 2.
They should have been able to leapfrog Ragnar Karia there, jump up to 4th place. But that is a beautiful result for Yangon Galacticos. They do not need a chicken dinner. They'll take it home on the points. Weibo with a misstep, a wide flank out towards Yangon Galacticos, and that allows the Yangon Galacticos boys to hold their nerve on the hillside. They play up on the ridgeline. They keep their heads down, and they allow the mistakes to unfold around them, and that seems to be the story of the grand finals. Let everyone else make the mistakes.
That's right.
Play it sensible. Play it smart.
With their early point lead, they were able to just play good old-fashioned PUBG Mobile. They didn't have to do anything fancy. They didn't have to go out of their way to do anything extraordinary. They left that up to the other rosters, and like you said, that led to plenty of mistakes. Yangon Galacticos dominating the tournament without question. They refused to relinquish first place. Once they grabbed it, nobody was able to overtake it. The dominating performance in PMWC 2025. The final 2 teams fight. The only thing that's up for grabs is a potential elevation to the top 10. Ida moves up. Porta starts to fire the shots. I love the off angle from Jiggle, who's going to be just up to the north. Darkin might be able to mow him down. We already know our champion, but we still need to crown a winner-winner chicken dinner.
One more to be earned. That meal may be a little bit ashen, but it will be nice nonetheless. We've also got things like MVP to consider coming on afterwards as well. Some nice prizes for plenty of players to try and chow down on to boot. Azora look to try and close the jaws here. Ida had the compound for the longest time. They were this bastion in the middle of this circle, and now Ora may be able to claim the final map here. And you can see the elation is sinking in for the boys on Yangon Galacticos. They are smiling ear to ear, and they have earned it.
Insane. And I want to say, Yangon Galacticos, we took note of them, right? We respected them coming into this tournament. But I don't think we put them as the favorite to take over the win, to actually be in first place, yet they took it by storm. They saw the opportunity, and they did not waste it. Darkin starts to move up. Blue most likely takes him out. If not, he's going to be very low health. Orta, Ida fighting it out. Jiggle from a distance. Another one will fall. There's Darkin finally out of the way, and Orta looks to be going towards a victory very, very soon. Rita tries to clutch up. Can't do it. Orta will take our final game of the tournament. But of course, the narrative has to go to Yangon Galacticos, the winners of PMWC 2025. Well done, boys.
Riyadh bows their heads in awe of Yangon Galacticos, for Smile, for Mernat, for Romeo, for Say Cloud. This is their moment. They have done it. That trophy sits in the middle of the stage. It's only a moment before they'll be able to ascend and lift it in the face of everybody who would take it away from them. Those keys crushed, and only one will be locked into that trophy.
16 keys started for this championship in the grand finals. 15 are going to be crushed. Yangon Galacticos, the only one to maintain their position, to maintain and save their key from destruction. An amazing performance. Again, a team that worked so hard throughout every single stage. Yangon Galacticos earning their spots, refusing to relinquish first place all the way to the very end.
As they take towards the Crusher, you can see they will be dropping those keys. They will be picking up their own to rise above the rest, to be the one. It is Yangon Galacticos.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have found our champions. Sorry, I'm stepping on your flag. The team, they persevered, they climbed the mountain, they survived the gauntlet that was Smash Sunday. Incredible. Congratulations, gentlemen. Emotions are, of course, running high. We could all see from your faces, you knew midway through that game that you managed to secure the win. But for now, let's start things slow. Let's start things easy, okay? First and foremost, I would like to invite our key master, Dominic. He's going to come out and present you with your Esports World Cup key. There you have it. Look at that. And so you know what you have to do now, don't you, gentlemen? We have to send your opponents down from the grand finals, okay? We are going to crush these keys. Say, Cloud, would you like to start us off? Why don't you turn the key and start those engines? The key and start those engines. Right, the engines are started. You'll feel it underneath the bit. Hold up. Okay. Hold up. Okay, Marnet, you can. Marnet, you can flick that switch. Push forward. There we go. Reveal that iris. We've opened it up. Look at those teeth. They are menacing. Okay. Master Smile, would you like to wave? Hold on. I'm going to give you a count. In 3, in 2, 1. Send them down. All those keys destroyed in the Crusher. Your enemies have been defeated. 15 teams' keys have been sent down into the depths. And now that your key is the only one that is left intact, I would like you to take your PMWC trophy key and place that into the center of the trophy and go and claim your prize. Walk that golden road, cement your legacy. Yangon Galacticos as our champions of PMWC. Congratulations. Gentlemen, that must have felt good. We're going to get Coach Marco over as well so that he can do some translating for us. But wow, what a day. There's a lot of emotions that you guys are feeling right now. Please try to put into words how you're feeling at this moment, Romeo.
ကျွန်တော်အရန်စိတ်လှုပ်ရှားတာပေါ့နော်ဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အရန်စိတ်ပူရတဲ့ရှေ့ပွဲဆိုလည်းအမားလေးရဖြစ်သွားတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်နောက်ဆုံးပွဲမှာကျွန်တော်လုံနိုင်တယ်ဆိုတာအကုန်လုံးကိုယုံကြည်တယ်ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကတာနေတယ်အဲ့တော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အမားမခံဘူးတစ်ဖက်သင်းမှာပဲကျွန်တော်တို့စောင့်တယ်အဲ့နဲ့ပဲကျွန်တော်တို့နောက်ဆုံးထိကျွန်တော်တို့စောင့်နိုင်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ချန်ပီယံကြီးကိုယူခဲ့တာပါ
Yes, what Romeo say is, of course we are nervous. We are top of the league, you know. We just like did some mistake the previous rounds, but you know, like we just wait, like we just play our own game and then wait their mistakes, and then we know that we can do it. We have a confidence to make it happen. Yeah.
Well, you definitely proved it up here. Say, Cloud, I'm going to come to you now because I want to ask you. We've heard some information that the teams that you would like to place in the base of your trophy, the crushed keys, are Alpha Gaming, Alter Ego Erez, and Weibo Gaming. Can you tell us why you decided to choose those teams?
မင်းဘာလို့အဲ့လိုအတင်းနေဘလို့ရွေးခဲ့လဲပေါ့ဟိုဟာမင်းတို့ငါတို့ခက်ခဲတဲ့အတွက်လား
Eva Gaming ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ဒီ day 1 day 2ထိနောက်ဆုံးထိကျွန်တော်တို့လိုက်ပြီးတော့ pressure ပေးတဲ့အတင်းပေါ့နော် Alter Ego ကတော့ဒါစီမှာဘယ်လိုပြောမလဲ PNS ကတော့နှစ်တင်စတိုက်ရထားတဲ့အတင်းဆိုတော့ respect
So what he say oh sorry keep going
Weibo ကတော့တည့်ရတိုင်းပါပဲအခုနောက်ဆုံးချိန်ထိသူတို့ကဘာလဲဆိုတာပြရတဲ့အတွက် so yeah
So actually, of course, like APG is a very good team, and then they gave us good pressure previous game before. Of course, Alter Ego, we respect Alter Ego because they are top level team. Of course, also Weibo Gaming. Everyone know Weibo Gaming. They are top of the league all the time. So we respect everything. Thank you.
That's good, showing your respect. Thank you so much. I'm going to come around here. Master Smile, we had a few opportunities to speak throughout the week, and you had some great performances, of course. You know, the crowd's been brilliant, haven't they? And you've got so many fans, you know, supporting you guys online, from home, family as well. Is there anything that you would like to say to them?
Thank you so much, everyone.
That's so kind of you. Thank you so much. Would you like to say anything as well, Mane? I feel like I'm leaving you out. What would you like to say?
အခုလို champion ရသွားတဲ့အတွက်ကျွန်တော်ရန်လဲပျော်တယ်ရန်လဲစိတ်လို့ရှာတယ်ကျွန်တော်ဒီညီကိုရင်းနဲ့ champion ရတဲ့အတွက်ရန်ပြီးဂုဏ်ယူတယ်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အားပေးနေတဲ့ fan တွေကိုလည်းအကျန်းကျေးဇူးတင်တယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့မောင်ပြီးကြရောနောက်လည်းဆက်ပြီးအားပေးကြပါအောင်လို့အားလုံးပြောချင်ပါတယ်ကျွန်တော်မြန်မာနိုင်ငံကိုစောင့်နိုင်တဲ့အတွက်ရန်ကိုဂုဏ်ယူပါတယ်
So what he's saying is like, of course, yes, he nervous, but he very happy at the same time. And then because he make it happen with these players, he's so proud of that. Of course, proud of our country, of course. So he want to say something to the fans who watching online. That's keep cheering for us. Thank you for the cheerings. For the next game, we were waiting. We're coming for the next game too. Next time again.
I love that. That's good. Thinking into the future already. Well, congratulations. Stay right here. I will be right back because what would a tournament be without some standout performances that we have had? Be careful. Walk your way over here because we have our Sony MVP of the PMWC here standing next to me. It is Doc from Alpha Gaming, everybody. Congratulations, Doc. You are absolutely phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to head back over here because for one final time, Gidea Esports Arena, make some noise for your 2025 PMWC champions at the Esports World Cup. It is Yangon Galacticos!
A dream come true, written in gold. Yangon Galacticos becomes the champions of PMWC 2025. What a moment for those four boys here, being able to conquer adversity, launch themselves into the stratosphere as Yangon Galacticos is your champions. Joining me here to talk about everything that has gone down, Seven, Nepturo, Maxman. Seven, this is their moment, a moment that they will remember for a lifetime.
A moment that nobody expected them to be here. This is a team that qualified through PUBG Mobile Challenger South Asia Cup. For them to be able to go that route and not really have that much global experience. Only 3 of their players had PMGC experience in PMWI, and that was back in 2023. What an amazing performance, Neptura.
Fantastic coming in from them. It's so nice to see some fresh faces in here, faces we've not seen in a while, coming in onto the international stage and absolutely dominating.
Taking down giants here at PMWC, outliving Alpha 7, taking down Weibo Gaming, Alpha Gaming at the very end here, at this very last match. Truly just making a statement that anyone can dominate in PUBG Mobile Esports, and here Myanmar is the one to take it home.
It's a true underdog story, and you don't get them often in esports, which is so exciting for me to watch, for us to witness, for everybody at home to see as this team can rise to the occasion. And as you say, Max, the fact that anybody can do it, if they persevere, if they're able to put it on the ground, get win after win against all of these teams. And here is your confirmation here. Number 1, 157 points at the very end 7. They take PMWC.
They take it, and they also, the eliminations were there, the placement points were there. This team definitely deserved this championship, but we got to give some credit to Weibo Gaming. Nobody was expecting them to be in second place. Today, on the final day, Max, they decided to show up, and boy, did they with the second place finish.
Weibo Gaming, I am begging you, keep this roster. You have so much potential. If you can re-qualify to PMGC with this team, and you just play the way you did today in your next tournament, from the get-go, I really believe this squad could be taking home so many trophies.
Winning Hong Kong, coming into today, us thinking it's only ever going to be a 2-horse race, Neptura, and yet Weibo comes along, gets back-to-back chicken dinners, and then continues to make it happen as well. The meteoric rise we saw from Weibo today gave me chills.
Absolutely, same here. I mean, it's so nice to see. Even when they weren't winning, they were getting those second places. They were getting those top 5 performances with a decent amount of elims as well, right? So I wholeheartedly echo what you were saying, Max. Keep this roster, keep it together, re-qualify, and we're going to see. This is definitely not the last we've seen of them.
How about APG? We got to give this team some credit too. As much as I've been hating on what happened today, amazing performance, especially in the finals. It came down crumbling at the end. And once again, guess who's the one getting that Sony MVP award?
No.
That's right, Doc.
Doc, he just keeps doing it, man. He just keeps being MVP after MVP, and the team just can't win a bloody trophy. It's just not happening. Look at this guy.
Wow.
31 eliminations on his lonesome here in these grand finals over the course of 18 matches. Doc is truly a legend, and the only thing that could really get over the fact of being an MVP would be possibly winning a tournament, but that has not happened today.
But at least now the hopes are open, Max, that we could possibly get one player just winning all the global MVPs for the year. If this team is able to qualify for PMGC, even if they don't win the championship, we know one thing's for sure, Doc will be contending for that MVP award.
I'm actually very excited about one cool thing. East was talked about to possibly be joining the squad, replacing Reefus. There might be a sub, and Baron becoming an actually a content creator. If that happens, this squad might be that might just be the one extra change they need to go and win one of these international events.
Neptura?
No, I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that roster evolves. I really hope that they don't kind of split up or disintegrate completely for me, because I still really like them. We've been very frustrated with them over the last couple of weeks, like very frustrated. But at its core, this is a very good team who knows what they're doing. I just want to see them not crack under the pressure, because I think today at least, as soon as they got close to actually being able to get that win, they went back to old habits. They started splitting up too much. They were way too slow to rotate, too timid to take, decisive plays that would have won them games. They just fell back on old habits.
Well, let's take a look at those individual awards coming in here from PMWC as well at the ESPORTS World Cup 2025. And we have, of course, Doc being the grenade master. Is there anybody else that's going to take that? Doc being the field medic. All right, he can't do everything here, guys. What's going on, Max?
How is he field medic when he's always away from his team?
I don't know. He's never there.
This guy, I genuinely mean this. I think that Doc has been the most enigmatic player we've ever had in PUBG Mobile Esports. Despite us being so critical, he keeps performing and getting these awards.
But of course, Smile will be taking best in-game leader here. Is there really too much surprise? 7. Yangon Galacticos was able to push them through to the absolute forefront.
And an aggressive IGL as well, right? 29 eliminations. That's, what, 4 less than Doc got? So while everybody sings Doc's praises for being such a massive eliminator, you've also got Smile there with 29. That's not bad either.
I gotta harp down on the point that I made for Yangon Galacticos. The way that this team played here on their first global event, especially for Smile, in 2 years, and being able to become one of these amazing players, being able to win an award as well, that is just so impressive, and I'm hoping that they kind of continue on with the performance that they had. They show us adaptability, and when we talk about championship teams, that is one thing we always bring up. You gotta be able to adapt to what the lobby is giving you, and you gotta take advantage to what it gives you.
Well, let's take a look at the Honor dominations as well coming in from today, because I can only imagine... Oh, yeah, of course. Actually, this is, I think, across the entirety of the grand finals here. So Doc with 6 triple elims here. Ketch for Fireflux. We saw him early on in the grand finals, Neptura being able to position himself, and he kept on going.
It's one of those things where it's like, well, at least there's some representation somewhere, right? I think everybody expected a lot more from that team. There's a lot of big names on that team, so it's nice that they're able to be on the leaderboard somewhere.
Well, we've still got to talk, though, a little bit more about our champions here for PMWC. As Yangon Galacticos, you can see every single win, every single emotion etched on these players' faces, Max. Just fantastic stuff for them.
And we heard it during the interview. They said, we'll be back. They've got a taste of glory, a taste of success at PMWC. Now they know what to expect next time as this roster. If they make it into PMGC, the sky might just be the limit. The emotion, all of this adventure through PMCL to make it to this point. A true underdog story that actually found its culmination here on this last day.
Underdogs, absolute challengers these players are. They were able to qualify through that at Challengers Cup. It sends a widespread message to anybody that wants to become a professional player for PUBG Mobile Esports. If you ever dreamed about it, now is the chance. We just had a team being able to win it, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the year is going to be like.
Absolutely. I mean, imagine having this win under your belt, going back to your regional tournaments, being able to once again potentially qualify for PMGC now, and going, we can do this. We've already done it at PMWC. We can do it again. What a feeling that must be.
Particularly amazing considering, yes, there were some circles that went their way, but at the same time, where did they really thrive? As we take a look at them now walking over towards the totem here to completely solidify themselves here at the Esports World Cup. But as I'm saying, Max, not only central plays, also edge plays. This team had the full package here in the grand final.
Genuinely, despite us seeing them for the first time as this roster on the international stage, their edge play was the best, and it was not even close. They would find the path of least resistance in the circle every single time, while not losing a single player almost. They're making a statement that edge play is the way, and for them, it was enough to claim the title.
And it wasn't just the edge play, it's the way that they were able to just gain control of all the ground near them. They were either, if they were in the north, guess what? There was not going to be a team anywhere nearby. Every single time we saw this team, they either had a 1-2-1 split, they had a 1-3, sometimes they would end up inverting them too if they found a position that was great for them. This is the adaptability that I'm talking about with this team. I'm hoping it continues on and even progresses going into the next global event.
I think a big marker for how good this team is watching the rest of the lobby adapt to them. They weren't going, oh, you're doing something, but actually we can get rid of that and make you change to us, right? No, it was the other way around. The rest of the lobby, all other 15 teams had to go, you know what? You're right. Have your space. We're going to do something else. They made these global teams change everything to suit them, and that is the mark of a dominant team.
And every player stood out in different ways. Say Cloud, the utility, the scouting was so impactful. Smile, the IGLing on the edge has been absolutely fantastic. Marnet, Romeo, always putting himself in danger for the greater good of the squad. Every player had their impact, and that is why they were crowned your PMWC champions.
And there we have Mike McCabe here, the COO of the Esports World Cup Federation, or the Foundation. And of course, Yangon Galacticos now being able to position themselves here in front of the totem. It's a special sight as they will start ascending the totem. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, PMWC has not disappointed. And now we get to see as Yangon Galacticos will not only etch themselves in history, but etch themselves in Esports World Cup history as well here at PMWC. And for one more final time here, the dream has come true. Yangon Galacticos goes absolutely galactic here, live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. They are your PMWC champions. Magnificent scenes here from them, of course, to be able to put themselves in the history books. 7, what a performance.
What a performance indeed. Going from group stages, we thought that this squad was just going to be a surprise team.
Amazing stuff. Congratulations, your PMWC champions, Yangon Galacticos.